Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 37th TWitWoW monthly Q&A. This is July of 2019, and it is going to be a quicker Q&A session than usual because we got 37 questions for our 37th edition of TWitWoW Q&A, and I'm not surprised that we got a little bit fewer questions this time around than usual because our last Q&A was a total disaster to the point that I didn't even upload it to YouTube. So people who normally would have been like, oh, I'm going to go to TWitWoW's Q&A video to ask questions for the next Q&A, didn't have a video to ask their questions on. So hopefully next month we'll pick it up a little bit. But still, I mean, how perfect is it that we got 37 questions for our 37th Q&A, John?
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Well, look at that, everyone. Isn't that just quaint? But yeah, I'm excited to answer these questions. You know, I'm in rare form today. You best believe, like, I'm on all kinds of shit. My bullshit, that good shit, and every shit in between. So I'm excited to get into this Q&A.
I may have just snorted ignore me.
Yeah, but Abel, the lost Q&A. You know what isn't lost, Abel? Your fucking face and your excellence, which is all that really matters in the end. So yeah, man, I'm done pussyfooting around. Let's get into these questions. Let's tell the people what they want to fucking know. Let's do it.
Well, believe it or not, our first set of questions this month, again, because of the fact that there wasn't a Q&A video up from June for people to ask questions on, so no, like, hypothesis, no racist fan rocks, that kind of stuff. The people that usually get their questions in as soon as we have our initial Q&A video uploaded. Our first set of questions is from Brandon Best, so hopefully Brandon is here.
Crazies.
Seen him in chat yet, but our first set of questions, we have 3 from Brandon Best. First one is just for you, John. Do you have any favorite old school All Japan pro wrestling matches?
You know, Brandon, here's the thing, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to watch so much more, like so much more than what I have. But things have been crazy. Brandon, you're a long-time listener. You know the content we're pumping out on TWitWoW. And you also know on the more personal side that I do a lot of philosophy for a living. So, like, all this has come together. Hasn't really given me a lot of breathing room to do a lot of AJPW. But I will say, anything Misawa is fucking god tier. Misawa is bae, okay? Like, I've seen him now against Kobashi and Stan Hansen, and I fucking love, like, both sets of matches. Stan Hansen especially, can I just say, JBL, no matter what you do in your life, no matter how many children you help, no matter how successful your portfolio is, you'll never be Stan Hansen. And that's a failure that you have to come to terms with. So, yeah, because his lariat is freaking legit. In fact, one match, I can't remember the date, but just to answer your question directly, there was one match, Misawa versus Hansen. I loved it because the psychology, like Misawa was working over the lariat arm the entire match because they know one hit and it's over. It's not like today's age where maybe you can kick out of a finisher, although I do think WWE is better about this relative to most indies. But he's working over the arm because he's like, one lariat's all it's going to take. The moment Hansen gets his comeback and he actually gets one lariat, even with a damaged arm, that's it. He beats Misawa. It was insane. Like, Hansen was such a protected Gaijin villain. And that lariat, I think, was probably one of the most legit finishers in AJPW because I'm talking, like, it seemed like for 15, 20 minutes he was working over that arm in a very entertaining way. Like, I didn't get bored. But, yeah, the moment he hit the lariat, it was done. And I'm like, that's how you make a fucking monster. Because if you do all that work and you still lose, Jesus Christ, if you are able to beat this guy, then you really are the toughest person in the company. So, yeah, that match just stood out for me because I love the storytelling. I love the psychology. I think it's called King of Road Style.
King's Road Style.
King's Road Style. I always think to put of the in there. But, yeah, King's Road Style. Just amazing. Amazing. I don't know if there's really much of it anymore, or if it's like a dead style, but it's so good. It's so good. I definitely want to watch more, Brandon, but yeah, that I think I'd have to you know, kind of come out as a favorite only because I love the story told in there. So hope that sufficiently answered your question.
All right. Second question from Brandon is for both of us. With WWE possibly hinting at a romance angle between Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, do you have anywhere that you would like for it to go? And he did say that he wants for Mandy to confess her love for Sonya. They both turn heel and beat the Iconics for the tag titles. That's his take on it.
Do I have anywhere I'd like it to go? Yeah, in the trash bin, because I don't trust WWE to do a quality, saga storyline. And again, for the uninitiated, I use saga instead of LGBTQ to mean sexuality and gender acceptance. I don't trust WWE to do a quality saga storyline. I think they would fuck it up. I think it would be terrible. I think it would be offensive to a degree. But I'll tell you what, taking your question in good faith and saying that WWE wouldn't fuck this shit up, I do think that you have Sonya continue to be selfless, helping Mandy grow in the ring, giving Mandy these opportunities, and Mandy realizes, like, wow, she really cares about me. And then maybe because every storyline has social media build these days, so like their show Mandy's Donuts or whatever the fuck they call their YouTube show, you have storyline development on there, and you have Mandy slowly start to catch feelings. Like, I do feel like I'm a goddess. I'm a very self-assured, confident woman. God knows no man could, be worthy of me or handle me or anything like that. And Sonya is one of the few women that, like, really cares about me. And the more I think about it, like, the more I feel bad. I feel like I've been taking advantage, and I realize, like, I really care about her too. And you build it slowly. And when you reveal it, by the way, be fucking tasteful. Like, obviously as a kid, I didn't know any better, but I grew up on, like, the HLA and stuff like that. Treat it like a normal fucking relationship. Okay? It's two fucking people like anybody else. So you treat it like a normal relationship. You have the confession. Maybe Sonya's hesitant. If you really want to give it depth and you really want to make it act like two people, except maybe with that WWE flair, maybe Sonya's been hurt in the past. Maybe she can't trust it. And you do that struggle. And then Mandy says, look, I'm going to prove it to you. You've been so selfless to me. I'm going to get as good as I can. And, we're going to win the women's tag titles. And then maybe you have Sonya accept the relationship and the tag team championship when they finally win the belts. I don't know. That's just one idea, but honestly, again, I have to go back to point one. I do not trust WWE to handle this with any kind of aplomb or sophistication or sensitivity whatsoever. They're going to handle it with a fucking blunt hammer, and it's going to be awful. I mean, Ashton, am I hyperbolizing, or do you kind of understand my fears here?
Well, no, I was even going to say, I saw this question, and I kind of already knew what I was going to say here. I would have a problem with this for so many reasons. And, like, the thing is, it's a shame that I wouldn't want it to happen, because I do want WWE to be able to handle LGBT storylines and characters, but they just have no. There has been literally no historical reason for me to believe that they would be able to do this without fucking it up or turning it into something gross. Like, and by gross, I mean, like, poorly representing those people. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And, like, if I was in charge and if I was booking it, I would not do it with Mandy. I would pick somebody. Frankly, I would hope that there was, an actual, lesbian couple in wrestling that I could do it with. Because Sonya, I sure as hell wouldn't want to hire her girlfriend to do it, because isn't she dating Zara Schreiber?
I believe she might be. I'm not entirely
sure.
So
I'm not trying to hire a fucking Nazi to be on my television. So I would have to find another, either a gay couple or, and that's not easy to find. Hell, fucking Diamante and, God, who was it that just came out? Kiera Hogan.
Yeah, Kiera Hogan.
Perfect. Do it with them. Do it with actual people who experience this shit, and don't just rely on one person that has the experience and somebody else who you are basically writing into a gay character when they're not. That's a problem. That's like, isn't that like a problem with representation and stuff like that? Like, and especially because, like, we don't know their true feelings. If Sonya IRL has a fucking crush on Mandy and Mandy has no interest in anything sexual, and you put them in a storyline that might require them to do, like, kissing and stuff like that on screen, that would fuck with Sonya big time.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, honestly, it just seems like a fucking mess waiting to happen, dude.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn, it's not a
so
mess.
So is it a storyline that I would like to see tastefully done? Yes. Are Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose specifically the people that I would like to see it done with? No. And is WWE the company to handle it? Fuck no.
No, absolutely fucking not, dude. So yeah, I guess next question.
All right, third and final question from Brandon. Of the current G1, what is the match you're most looking forward to? And John, I love this question because both of the matches that we are going to answer this question with are this fucking weekend. So not only do we get to talk about, answer the question, talk about something we enjoy, but it's also a plug for the channel.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's a plug for a superior wrestling product, New Japan Pro Wrestling, because the match I'm looking most forward to is Kenta versus Okada, which New Japan has built to fucking brilliantly, because Kenta's 4-0, Okada's 4-0. Nobody's definitively taken first place in the A block yet, and they're going to main event this Saturday. Winner gets first place. And I love that Kenta, who's most synonymous with Noah Pro Wrestling, has come into New Japan now, and they've really given him everything. Like this is not a company.
Star treatment, right?
They've given him the star treatment. You'd never see WWE do this. They didn't do it with Sting. They haven't done it with any outsider.
I mean, the closest thing that they've done it with was AJ.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the closest. And even then, I feel like it took a little bit, but they did get there. Trust and believe, they did get there. So I do appreciate New Japan. I do appreciate New Japan having the open-mindedness and the humility to be like, you know what, this guy's with us now. The past doesn't matter, because all that matters is the present money that we're making, especially expanding into the US. And Okada's just the fucking ace. Like, he's the guy right now. So when you have those two forces colliding, it's just insane. Like, I love when I'm able to actively anticipate a wrestling match. And I want to be careful with my wording here, because it's not that I haven't seen amazing wrestling matches prior to this, or even that I haven't been excited about wrestling matches prior to this, but this just feels special. This just feels really fucking special to me, what we're about to see on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I feel like this is one of those matches, and, I honestly don't give a fuck if it's hyperbole, because we're talking about my most anticipated match, right? So how can my own feelings be wrong, I guess?
Right, exactly.
I'm going to feel privileged watching it. I really am. I'm going to feel so privileged because, we're in a state with wrestling today that people really can go a lot of places. It's just a matter of the companies letting them do that kind of traveling. So to know that Kenta's home and he's facing a guy that I have said over and over again on this podcast, is definitely in the discussion for best wrestler in the world. Yeah. And I would certainly say, like, he's the man of Japan right now, even though, again, like, the popularity. Actually, wait, did Okada come in at 1, or was Naito in at 1? Who was number 1 in Japan with those popularity rankings you told me about? Is it
Tanahashi.
Okada? It's Tanahashi. Yeah, even though
Tanahashi 1, Naito 2, Okada was 3, I believe.
So maybe it's a bit of a weaker leg, admittedly, but he's still the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. He's broken records, and he's still only in his early 30s. Like, that's horrifying in the best way. So yeah, I'm ready for this, and you know what? I'm fully expecting Okada to win if I'm truthful. But I just want to see Kenta do his vision of pro wrestling with a guy that I know is really going to bring the full breadth of it out of him.
Honestly, dude, I'm fully prepared for Okada to win, but if there was going to be a time limit draw in this tournament, that's the fucking perfect one to do it with.
Yeah, we still wouldn't have a first place win, but then it would be even more interesting, because since these guys cancel each other out in the head-to-head, It really would be a war of attrition. Who's going to lose first?
Yep.
Like, exactly. My God. They might, dude. They might have the balls. And see, that's why I love New
Japan. I'm gonna have my stopwatch going, man. I'm going to have my stopwatch going.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing I want to say, too, before I hand it off to you, because I'm excited for you to kind of dissect your most anticipated match. This is what I love about New Japan, because even though I've openly criticized them for some booking decisions, the biggest one being Naito losing to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 12, I stand by. I think that was a mistake. And most recently, Jay White losing the title to Okada so soon. Like, they still do so much good on a regular basis. I can't even stay mad at them for long. Yeah. They're like a really close friend or my sister. Like, if I'm really close with you, probably spit in my face and I'd still love you. And that's pretty much what New Japan is. Like, I know you'll never give Ishii a world title, but gosh darn it, I just can't stay mad at you, scamp. So that's pretty much how I feel. But enough prattling from me. Ashton, what match are you most looking forward to, brother? Talk to us about it.
Yours is the main event of day 9. Mine is the main event of day 10. John Moxley versus Tetsuya Naito.
Yes, that good shit.
Yeah, that's easily the match that I'm most looking forward to that hasn't happened yet. And it's just one of those things, man, where my fandom for John Moxley has been completely reignited with him being out of WWE, being able to cut his promos, being able to wrestle matches the way he wants to. His match with fucking Shingo on this past yesterday, was incredible and legitimately, like, it might even be a contender for me, at least, for underrated match of the year, because I genuinely thought that was the best match on the show yesterday, and it really hasn't been it's not getting talked about at all. So a genuine contender for underrated match of the year to me. And now we're going to get to see him and Naito in a match that I fully expect Naito to win, but the way Moxley has been treated in New Japan, I'm genuinely starting to wonder if he's going to sign that contract and become a full-time member of that roster.
Dude, I mean, with how much he seems to love it. And here's the thing, too, that's so great about Mox, alongside New Japan's booking, that promo he cut where he pretty much said, I'm going to win the G1 or die trying. He speaks in such a way where you believe everything he says.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like...
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to say this for as long as there are people listening to what we have to say. I've literally, in my 20 years of watching wrestling, never seen anybody who was held back more by the WWE system than Jon Moxley in my life. And that's wrestling. Because his matches are better now than they were in WWE too, but it's promos more than anything, and character work, and really everything from the creative process. Moxley has gone from a guy that I would roll my eyes at when he was on television to somebody who is genuinely compelling, and I want to see every single thing that he does now.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Moxley versus Naito is definitely my number one most anticipated match for the remainder of this G1. So, we ready to move on to our next set of questions?
Absolutely, bro. Let's do it.
Rotten Butter! And you know what his first question is. And
he's live, dude. He's live for this.
Holy shit, Rotten Butter's actually here! Hot diggity damn!
I know, right? Let's see. Okay, so we did some cool shit. We watched Spider-Man Far From Home, which kicked ass. Tom Holland is officially my Spider-Man.
And Into the Spider-Verse. We watched both of those movies in the last...
And Into the Spider-Verse, yes, and I enjoyed that. I know you weren't as hot on Into the Spider-Verse as I was. But
yeah, I definitely, if I had to choose my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time, Into the Spider-Verse would be like somewhere in the middle, and Far From Home would probably be number one, actually, like, believe me.
Yeah. The way they did Mysterio, because I even told you, like, I watched the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, and I'm talking legitimately watched it, every episode.
Right. Saturday mornings, baby.
And not even that, I watched it on, like, Watch Cartoon, because one day I was in the mood, I want to watch Spider-Man. And that was the one I chose.
Oh, you mean, like, you didn't watch it live while it was airing, you've watched it just since you have had access to the internet and shit.
Yeah, because the internet's fucking amazing when used properly. Amazing when used properly. And the way they did Mysterio cinematically, like, you're talking on the show, and no disrespect to any Mysterio fans in the chat, he seemed like a C villain to me. But in the movie, what a fucking threat. And what a fucking threat in the climate that we're living in, because I love the social commentary of, like, eroding trust in institutions and certain authorities and capitalizing on that. And this and that. And yeah, like, it was just really cool how they did it. And Tom Holland has really stepped into the Spider-Man role. Like I said, he's officially my Spider-Man now. So we did that. I've been getting back to reading philosophy and stuff, which, I always gloss over that with you guys because nobody wants to hear about that nerd shit. Ain't nobody give a fuck about that nerd shit. We've been playing more Rocket League. Obviously doing wrestling.
We watched American Vandal both seasons, and it was amazing.
Yeah, where's Mark Shoneman? Mark, if you're here, thank you so much for the recommendation.
He actually did ask us a question related to American Vandal.
Okay. Yeah, both seasons were great. I doubt it's going to be picked up anywhere for a third season because I feel like I heard that a while ago and nothing came of it. But I hope one day it gets revived with, like, the original cast and they're able to do something because I love the concept. We started Big Mouth just last night because I know.
Yeah, we watched the first 4 episodes. I want to say.
I really enjoyed it. I know I've had friends that really like it. I didn't know how I'd take to it because I'll be honest. The only reason I didn't check it out before, I wasn't too crazy about the animation style. But when you spend time with it, like, it grows on you. Yeah. And yeah, I really like it. I really like the show. I think we'll probably do more tonight. So I'm excited for that.
Definitely a possibility. Yeah.
We did The Hangover, the trilogy.
Yeah, we did do the whole trilogy. That's right. I forgot that was this month, but it totally was.
We did Stranger Things. This season was amazing. And guys, let me tell you, actually no.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot that was the 4th. That's right. We did just watch that this month. Hot damn.
Actually, you think enough time has gone by that I can no, I'll do the countdown method that I always do. If you don't
Yeah,
wanna
dude,
hear,
I always go by the 2 weeks. If it's been 2+ weeks since something's been released, spoilers are full go, full steam ahead. No need to worry about it.
Okay, then I'm just gonna, because it was released on July 4th, right? 4th of July.
Yeah,
okay,
it's been 3 weeks since it came out.
Okay, yeah, then I'm gonna talk about it. Still though, I'll give 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopper's letter narration scene at the very end made me fucking cry. Like, I shed tears. In fact, I even told Ashton, and I wasn't lying to him about it, I'll say it again here. I've rewatched that scene multiple times since, and I've cried every time. Like, I even wrote a post on Facebook where it was like, ever since I was a kid into my teens, like, I always wanted Morgan Freeman to narrate my life, but David Arbor would be a great fucking choice too. Like, what a fucking voice. And yeah, I really, really appreciated it. Great show. So yeah, there was that. Let me think about what me and the family did. I'm trying to think about what we watched. Oh, we're getting into this new reality show, and you know that they're always going to be trash on some level, but I actually find this one a bit endearing and I like it, called Party Down South. And it's every bit as raunchy, and I can't believe they drink. So I've never seen so much drinking on one reality show. And so that was pretty crazy. What else have we done here? I'm trying to think about just me, Christy, and Chris now, like things that we've done. Oh, we watched a trailer, You and Me. What was that show called again? I'm gonna remember it. I'm gonna scroll up though and look at the trailer so I don't misquote it again. But what was it? Oh my god.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Do you want me to just say it?
Yeah, you could say it.
The Boys.
Yeah. That looks really good. Fresh take on the superhero genre. Speaking of trailers, I did send Ashton the trailer for the Zombieland 2.
Yes! I can't believe it actually looks good. Dude, didn't they make like a Zombieland TV show?
I think they might have. I'm not as confident in that though. I don't know. I'm not as sure about that one. But yeah, it looks legit, and I love the people they got for this fucking movie. Like, especially towards the last few seconds, you see more people show up, and it's like, oh man, wait, they got who? Damn. And so yeah, I just so that there was that. I'm trying to think about what else.
We actually watched 2 movies earlier on in the month. One of them was The Package, where the dude cuts his dick off.
Oh God, that's right. I had successfully put that out of my memory, but thank you.
And then the other one was The Bad Batch with Jason Momoa, and honestly, unironically, I enjoyed The Package more.
Yeah, I didn't even. I don't know about The Bad Batch.
Bad Batch was like, it was trying really hard to be deep, but it just kind of came off as like confusing.
Yeah, that's exactly how it came off to me too, friend. We done anything? Did we finish Eastbound and Down this month?
Yeah, well, no, that was last month. We did Eastbound and Down and Vice Principals and Barry in June.
God, all those things are so good, especially Barry. But Vice Principals, though, man, you guys.
Yeah, I was even gonna say, I love Barry, but I think I might have a slight favorite in Vice Principals over Barry, just a little bit.
Yeah, hey, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. That cast, fucking legit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think anything else.
Music-wise, Ed Sheeran put out a new album that's all like crazy collaborations. Like, he has a song that's like a rock song with Bruno Mars and Chris Stapleton, and then he has another song that's with Camila Cabello and Cardi B in that same song. He's got one with Chance the Rapper. He's got one with Justin Bieber. He got one with Skrillex. Like, it's just a bunch of crazy, like, huge name collaborations. And I can't say that I've been like binge listening to it or anything, but I did listen to it like 2 or 3 times, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. Speaking of music, I'm glad you shifted it there, because I'm just coming up empty now when it comes to shows and shit. Oh, how could I forget? I don't know if you guys, first of all, for people who have Netflix, I'm talking about if you use Netflix to get into like the more foreign shows territory, but second season, because we've watched the first 2 seasons, and the 3rd season is out, and we're probably going to watch it next Family Day, me and the family, called Casa de Papel. It's amazing. It's like...
That's House of Paper.
Yes, yes, it is. And it's like this kind of action show in a way, like Thriller, but it also has like elements to me of a telenovela in like the best way. Like
Nice.
I know that may put some people off. It is so good. Oh my god! And the trailer for the third season, I am so here for it. Oh yeah, and see, now that jogged my memory. We're in the midst. We haven't finished yet, but we're watching Good Omens on Amazon.
Oh shit! Nice. Yeah, that show looks good.
Yeah, it really hasn't been bad. It really hasn't been bad. Like, I think the first episode is a bit much, honestly. Like, for me, it takes a little bit to get going. But once it's gotten going, I've actually really enjoyed it. And I think, I don't know what the one actor's name is that plays the angel, but David Tennant, like, that's a guy, honestly. We were talking the other night, Ashton, over Rocket League, who our favorite actors are. I really should put David Tennant on there because I'm not even a Doctor Who fan, but Kilgrave and now this devil role that he's doing on Good Omens, the dude's just a fucking treasure. And
Michael Sheen, by the way, is the name.
Oh, Michael Sheen. Okay. But yeah, in fact, a little fun fact about David Tennant, even when I was a kid, and we used to like watch those History Channel documentaries, you know, when the History Channel was actually about the history of the world. He actually, David Tennant kind of portrayed a French philosopher during the Enlightenment and the French Revolution, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who I'm actually a fan of today. I actually just got a book of his today in the mail. Wow. And it's funny that I'm talking about David Tennant and all this is going on. And yeah, he's just amazing. I couldn't believe that it was him. And I went back and I watched it. I'm like, oh God. So yeah, David Tennant's amazing. But yeah, you said music. Became a Dear Agony fan. Dear Agony's fucking awesome. Never Tell came out with a new song. So that was good. Mosaic. Oh my God. Mosaic came out with a new song and I was grateful because the band actually interacted with me on my Facebook page. Well, 4 members did. That last one got away from me, the bastard. But they came out with a new song called Dad Rock, which I thought was going to be like this uplifting ode to all the good fathers, which, you know, I can't relate. But it actually ended up going really hard at like every cruel boss, every deadbeat dad, just like any abusive figure ever. And I'm like, yes, this is a fucking anthem. Give me life. So, yeah, I mean, goddamn, the more I think about it, man, the more I had a more productive month than I thought I did as far as entertainment stuff. So you're on butter. You picked a good day to be live because I actually had a lot to say. So, Ashton, what about you, man? How are you feeling about shit?
Yeah, I actually went back and, oh, shit, you know what? I haven't checked in a minute, but Chance the Rapper's new first actual proper debut album was supposed to drop this month. I don't know if it has yet because it's been a few days since I checked. But I went back and downloaded all 3 of his, I guess, EPs. He's got 2 mixtapes and an EP that are all out. And I've been kind of listening to them. I actually kind of almost rediscovered Mike Posner. I've been pretty familiar with a few of his songs. Like, everyone knows Please Don't Go and Cooler Than Me. And most people also know I Took a Pill in Ibiza, but I've been listening to a lot of his stuff. And like, I've also been aware of Mansions, which is it's a collaboration between him and Black Bear. And I really like a lot of their music too. So I made a big old playlist of Mike Posner's 3 like full-length albums and the Mansions album. And I was listening to that. That's really good stuff. As far as more current music, I'm still stuck on this fucking Diplo song with Cam called So Long. It's just so charming and sweet, and I absolutely love it. But it came out months ago, so I don't even know. This is probably not the first time that I'm mentioning it. Let's see, what else? Of course, fucking Old Town Road. Everyone knows about that already. Recently kind of discovered Lizzo, and I really like her song Juice. I really enjoy that. Sierra put out an album that was pretty fucking good too. Maren Morris, who is a country artist, dropped an album. The reason that I'm familiar with her is because she was the one that did the vocals for Zed's song The Middle that fucking everybody has heard of by now. She just dropped an album that's got more of like a pop influence, and I actually kind of enjoy it. I actually really like it. Let's see. I know Taylor Swift dropped her new song, You Need to Calm Down, and apparently that was fucking controversial. Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello dropped a track called Senorita that I'm fucking obsessed with. Post Malone dropped a new track called Goodbyes that I'm fucking obsessed with. Bryce Vine dropped a new track called La La Land that I like. And Charlie XCX dropped a new track called Gone featuring Christine and the Queens that's actually really good too. So I have Napster. I know I'm one of the few people on earth that doesn't have Spotify. I have Napster instead. And every now and then I'll look and they'll have like a section called New Releases for You. That's basically just new releases, kind of almost using an algorithm similar to what like Pandora Radio uses, where it's like, hey, if you like this, then you might like this. So like I have one on here that's like, oh, you like Atreyu, so here's an Atreyu song that you might like that's new, that kind of thing. So every like week or two, I'll go through that and just try and find new tracks to add. And I also kind of try and keep up on YouTube. Like there was just a new Chainsmokers song that just got released that I listened to that I'm probably going to add to my playlist as well. So music-wise, that's about it. You know, I don't really read books as much as I'd like to, although I am in a book club now, so I am going to have to start reading. I'm in the it's a Song of Ice and Fire book club with Abel and a few other people that were in the fantasy Game of Thrones league that I won. So I'm going to have to start doing some reading maybe, or at least listening to
Damn, I got so excited because this is what an asshole I am. I got so excited when you said you were in a book club, but I didn't think any of our friends would be in it, so I was going to tell you I'd pay you $5 if somebody was just like, that's why I think Khaleesi is actually an underappreciated character, and then you would reply, well, actually, I think your analysis exposes you as a mark, and here's what really happened. Just love to see you pop off. But,
yeah,
no,
it's
cool,
me,
man.
it's me, Abel, and like 3 other people, I want to say. So it's a really tiny book club, but it is a thing now. As far as YouTube content, John and I actually watched quite a few video essays this month. There's this video that's been on YouTube in my recommended feed for probably months at this point called Pirates of the Caribbean Accidentally Genius. And we watched that and I fucking loved it. And it made me want to rewatch the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And then there is a channel on YouTube called Make Stuff that I fucking love. And like, I could literally listen to that dude narrate a phone book, which I mean, I feel like there are actually people in our audience that don't even know what a phone book is because of how young a lot of the people are. But yeah, like he did one about Hamilton and motifs. He did about Up and Arrival being the same movie and using that narrative as a way to kind of educate us about the difference between something being cartoony and being realistic and how it goes from being relatable to being more like emotional and empathic kind of thing. I fucking loved it. He did one about the power of representation with Black Panther and Ryan Coogler and all that stuff. He did one about This Is America by Childish Gambino, that music video, and talking about like the juxtaposition in that and everything like that. He even did one about Game of Thrones and the differences between the first 4.5 seasons of writing and then the most recent 2.5 or 3.5. I think it was 2.5 because it went out before season 8. So like, I just fucking love the way this dude talks, and I love the way he thinks, and I love, and he even did one on Avatar: The Last Airbender called The Importance of Mistakes that I've watched, that I don't think John has watched recently, that I fucking loved. We've also been getting more into Stardom, and we found a channel on YouTube called Sturkovich Oka Metal or something like that. And we watched a 2019 Stardom roster guide that was pretty awesome, that really did a good job of kind of helping us to get a little bit of familiarity with almost everyone on the Stardom roster. And we've also just kind of been watching like random Stardom matches that get uploaded on their YouTube channel. Like there was one that was it was like Queen's Quest versus Oedo Tai. There was one that was Kagetsu versus B Priestley. So like there were quite a few that I was pretty into. And you know what? It wasn't Queen's Quest versus Oedo Tai. It was Stars versus Oedo Tai. That's what it was. And then I want to say that's about the extent. Oh, we've been keeping up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it's fucking crazy, but it's also amazing. And I can't wait to find out where they go with this season, because it seems like they're kind of working their way to bringing Coulson as an actual character back from the dead. We're super excited for the HBO series Watchmen, because that trailer just dropped at Comic-Con. That's going to be amazing. Another HBO series coming up that we're probably going to be watching is His Darkest Hours with James McAvoy. That show looks incredible. The Marvel stuff that all just dropped, you know, with fucking, oh my god, the Eternals and Shang-Chi and Loki and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and What If, and Thor Love and Thunder, and like so WandaVision and Black Widow. So much Marvel content coming, and fucking Blade, John, Blade, with Mahershala Ali as Blade. And by the way, I don't know if I remember or if I mentioned this, but the Black Widow film that's coming out in May has David fucking Harbour in it. Yes, please and thank you. And yeah, it's been a really good month as far as content goes. So I think that about covers that question, and I think we can move on. How does that make you feel, John?
Absolutely. Let's move on, man.
Phew. All right. So the second question. And by the way, speaking of shows that are coming up, Silicon Valley season 6 hitting October already. It's coming out this October. And apparently it's going to be the final season of the series, too, which is disappointing, but we get it in October, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That should be really good.
Okay, now, the next question from Rotten Butter is a little bit longer, so just let me read it. This is something I've noticed happening with increasing regularity, but when someone doing voiceover work becomes involved in a controversy, the companies they worked for will distance themselves to the point of retroactively diminishing their connection to them, regardless of if they've been found guilty of a crime or not. This can range from redubbing or recasting the person, removing an episode they were in, trying to diminish their role in said media, or even going as far as to remove the character from advertising. What are your thoughts on this? And then he put in a note, this is not to defend the actions of these individuals, but backpedaling on a performance after the fact feels like it degrades the works they were a part of and strikes me as a form of censorship.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? Because obviously, like, predators and wrongdoers really, like, of any kind shouldn't be tolerated in any space. But to retcon their contributions, I don't know. I just think that exacerbates a problem, right? I would rather, but then again, I guess maybe it's also a legal issue of, do we want these people to keep making money even if they were like really gross? Because you have to imagine like royalties and contract law. Like, I don't know everything that goes into that. I would just have to assume that if you did keep it up and you didn't retcon some stuff and like act like they never existed, that they would still be making money even if they were penalized in a different way. So I think it's a lot. And honestly, I don't really know how I feel about it, to be truthful. Like, I just think it's a lot to it's just a lot to process. So I don't know. What about you, Ashton? Do you have any thoughts on this?
The thing is, for me, I think that wanting to distance yourself from that performer makes all the sense in the world, but retroactively trying to change things that they were a part of, I think is just a step too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like for WWE, and this is the closest example that I can think of. Should they have publicly denounced Chris Benoit for his actions? Absolutely. But should they have to erase him from history? Fuck no.
No, absolutely not.
So that's kind of my take on the situation is distance yourself, make it clear that you want nothing to do with the individual anymore, but also leave the history alone. Like, let it be and just try and move forward, you know?
Right.
So,
absolutely. No, I completely agree with it, for sure. With you, I mean, for sure.
All right. Yeah. Third and final question from Rotten Butter. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yes, and it smells awful. What about you? Can you smell what he's cooking?
I mean, it smells like coconut soup to me.
Ah, interesting. Interesting nose you got there.
Because every time I think of The Rock now, I don't even think of Dwayne Johnson, the person. I just think of Maui from Moana.
Yeah, really. That's a good point.
And after all, he's the one that buried an eel's guts, and that's what made coconuts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, next question.
Next question is from Iconic Player One, or Iconic Head Writer of Nonsense, or whatever he wants us to call him this time. First question is just for me. Top 5 most influential rock stars ever.
Oh, God, I can't answer this. I'm not musically inclined.
I mean, truthfully, if we're being totally honest, the most influential rock stars were probably, like, not even famous, because whoever Elvis jacked his style from is probably an easy answer for at least one of them. But I still have to say fucking Elvis. Like, I don't want to, because like I said, he just stole like cultural appropriation into the max. But he's still such an obvious answer. I'll also say Gene Simmons, because of like that whole like bringing the real like showmanship and shit to rock music, and not just being about the music but being more about the show and everything. Obviously, you know, Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. So we're up to 4 so far. We've got Elvis, Gene Simmons, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and fucking Jimi Hendrix. There you go, top 5. Second question from Iconic: what failed gimmicks from 90s WWF/WCW would work in modern 2019 WWE, and vice versa?
90s gimmicks. I wasn't like, obviously I was born in the 90s, but I didn't get into wrestling until the 2000s. Yeah, I don't know, man. Do you have any idea? Because you were around for like part of the Attitude Era, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. First of all, I think that a lot of like the sort of over the top like profession gimmicks, like $1 Million Man and IRS and like Duke the Dumpster Drozy and the Goon and shit, like where like these are all guys who are like something and also a wrestler. Like, oh, he's a tax guy and a wrestler, or he's, you know, a hockey player and a wrestler. That kind of shit would not fly today at all.
Right, yeah.
No way. I tell you what, Brian Pillman 150% would work in basically any era.
Yes, that I agree with. That, because especially with this reality era where they're trying to blur the lines. I mean, he did that whole gun segment, you know, with Stone Cold and everything. Like, I think a character like that would absolutely work today. Yeah, I can agree with that wholeheartedly.
Low-key, I think Bad News Brown would have worked today, because like Bad News Brown was Stone Cold Steve Austin before Stone Cold Steve Austin became Stone Cold Steve. Like he was Stone Cold before Steve Austin was Stone Cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Bad News Brown is a really easy answer for this. Manami Toyota, since we're not just talking about men, Manami Toyota would definitely fit in today. Aja Kong, like that whole crew of like the early to mid 90s Joshi women that were incredible.
Yeah.
I would say Luna Vachon for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Man, I'm actually having a hard time now thinking. I mean, obviously, like Steamboat and Savage.
Right.
But they're more 80s than 90s.
Yeah, they are. You're right about that.
Yeah, I think I'm all out. So let's go the other way around. What people in 2019 WWE would work in the 90s for WCW or WWF?
I feel like Bray would work. Braun. I still feel like Bray would work because he's more of a character guy.
Miz.
And 90s had a lot of characters. Miz, yeah. You think Ricochet would work as a light in the light heavyweight division?
No, because he takes himself too seriously, and the light heavyweight division was unfortunately a comedy division at the time.
Yeah, okay. The Revival, I think. For the tag.
I don't know. They were small, and then like the 90s tag division was very like flamboyant. Like you had like the fucking New Age Outlaws and the Legion of Doom, and like, you know what I mean? Like it was all like over the top, big time characters, Harlem Heat, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Viking Raiders would have been perfect.
Yeah, there you go. Viking Raiders, yeah, definitely.
That would have been amazing.
You think Tyler Breeze and his gimmick would have worked? I feel like maybe they would have taken it a bit further at the time, given that it was 90s. But...
Yeah, if it would have been late 90s, yes. Early 90s, it would have been just an absolute train wreck.
Well, given that the thing was 90s, then yeah, we can use that. We can absolutely use that. So,
Speaking of 90s, though, if we want to go to the early 90s, Velveteen Dream and really emphasizing the Prince aspects of his character would have been fucking gangbusters.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I absolutely agree with that, man, for sure. Can you think of anything else, or should we move on to our next question?
Low-key, Barrett would have been great in the late 90s.
Yeah, if he had like that Hitman gimmick, they probably would have like turned the volume up on
with
it.
With like the bull hammer and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sheamus too. Sheamus would have been great back then. He would have been like a forever heel because like they didn't really do foreign baby faces back then, but yeah, that would have been, he would have been in the fucking Oddities. Sheamus would have 100% been a member of the Oddities.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so then we've got our third question from Iconic. How do you see the Moxley Shota storyline ending? He suggested Moxley versus Red Shoes in a ladder match for the custody papers.
That would be amazing. No, I think they'll keep running together, but maybe when Shota goes on his excursion, we'll just notice Moxley coming out like without Shota, and he'll make like a joke reason like, oh, I told him to go on a vacation because he's been so great, but he'll be on his excursion. And then when he comes back with his new gimmick, maybe the first person he targets is Moxley. Yeah. Because, I mean, who better to take down than the person I was closest to all these months? So that's what I was
even thinking, like, if they really wanted to get creative with it, I would love it if they would do, like, because Moxley, like, so far in New Japan has been nothing but respectful. Like, he's been this guy, and, like, even though he'll, like, bite you and he'll, like, do dirty things in a match, he still, like, bows to referees and is respectful, for the most part, to off-air personnel and stuff like that. But if you send him down a darker path where he starts being more and more abusive to everyone, and eventually when he loses the United States Championship, he takes it out on Shota, and we don't see Shota for however long because of the excursion, but in storyline, it's because Moxley destroyed him and he's out on injury. Then when Shota comes back, they could really build that into a huge moment and have him go after Moxley that way.
I completely agree with you. I love that idea. Absolutely love that idea.
So if you want to turn Shota into a star, that's definitely one way to do it.
All right. Anything else you want to say about this question?
Fourth question from Iconic. And actually, I want to check and make sure that this is for both of us, because I have it written down as being just for you, but I did like a weird copy-paste thing. It is just for you. You can only invite two of the following. Oh, I should have fucking just read the question. Obviously, it's for you. You can only invite two of the following to your birthday bash extravaganza at the club. Who do you choose out of Andrade, MJF, Kenta, and Johnny Mundo?
Oh, I'd say Kenta and Johnny. Yeah.
Kenta and Johnny? Wow, I really was like certain you would go for Andrade and Johnny, or even MJF and Johnny.
I mean, Johnny is still God tier. MJF would just mock how my party is completely inferior to his, which, I mean, he's right. He's rich. And Andrade, you know, like, I don't know, man. He's already got Charlotte, and you know that she would be his +1. And he'd be like, Andrade, can I talk to you in private, please? What the hell is she doing here? Man, she's my girlfriend, man. Look, I know, and I love you, but you got to understand, and I say this with all due respect, she's terrible. And then it would just be a big fight. So, like...
So you're not inviting Andrade because he would probably end up leaving after a few minutes anyway.
Exactly. I thought Kyrie would be on the list, because then, I mean, maybe it would have been easier because then I would have just said Johnny Kyrie, but yeah, with Kyrie not in the mix, yeah, it's pretty easy. Johnny Kenta, for sure.
Nice.
I mean,
I think if we're doing +1s, I can see your reasoning, but if we can make a rule where no +1s are allowed, I would pick Andrade and Johnny, because, like, I mean, you just show up at the club with those two guys and they draw everyone. They just, like, everyone is attracted and drawn to their magnetic energy, and you're obviously going, it's like the best wingmen possible, because they're like fucking literal magnets to everyone, not just women, to everyone. To either be them or be with them. And, you know, it's just like, that's a good party right there, is one where everyone is like stoked.
Yeah. And then Johnny would be all bashful and I'd be like, no, ladies, we're taking it. I'd be like, I'm not. Send all that love to me.
Now that is trickle down economics.
And then they'd be like, Cool. What do you do? I'm a philosopher. Ew. That doesn't sound wealthy. No, wait, no. I'm only moderately poor. Oh. Next question.
Fifth and final question from Iconic, and again I have to make sure. Okay, this is for both of us. If AEW resurrects the Four Horsemen with Tully Blanchard as the group's JJ Dillon, who will be the other members after Sean Spears, and who would you say are their counterparts?
Ooh. You go first on this one.
Oh, I don't have a good answer for this. Okay, so I mean, God, who even were the original Four Horsemen? You know what? I'm going to Google this.
It was all Tully, Arn, and Rick, right? I don't think I'm forgetting anybody.
What was the first name you said?
Wasn't it Ole Anderson?
Ole Anderson. Oh, so Arn and Arn. Oh, okay, yeah, the Andersons. And then let me look it up. Let's see. Ole Anderson, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Ric Flair. Okay, so I'm guessing that Sean Spears is already kind of the Tully of the group, given that he was like the one to introduce Tully in the first place as like the manager, as JJ Dillon kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we need a Ric Flair. Who would be a good Ric Flair? Modern day Ric Flair. Obviously, like, we want to go to MJF, but also I don't know if that would really work because, like, I don't know. Like, Ric Flair was likable.
Yeah, he was. I
almost want to say Kip Sabian as the new Ric Flair.
Yeah.
A lot to pile on somebody who really, like, isn't much of a name, you know?
Yeah, it is. That's why I'm so tentative, man.
I would say Jungle Boy, but I want it to be a heel, so that wouldn't really work either.
You know, it's a shame that it would have to be a heel too, because maybe even Adam Page. Like, he has a great look. You put that guy in a suit.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't think he's much of a promo either.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really hard. No wonder you said I'm gonna answer, and I only pulled it off you.
Oh, dude, I got our Ric Flair, Sammy Guevara.
Okay.
And then our tag team, Ole and Arn. Fuck, man, I wish we could just bring the Revival over, honestly, because they'd be perfect for that.
Yeah, really.
But then it would be basically just like an almost fully ex-WWE faction, and you wouldn't really want that either.
No, you wouldn't. Well, I mean, I guess they don't have to replicate Ole and Arn's style. They just have to be, like, effective as they were, like, dominant like Ole and Arn.
Yeah, like an effective heel tag team. And I wouldn't want the Dark Order either, though.
I wouldn't want SCU, though.
I wouldn't want Best Friends. I mean, I love those guys, but I wouldn't want them in a heel faction.
And fuck knows I wouldn't want the Rhodes brothers.
Yeah, or the Young Bucks. That's the thing, is like, AEW's tag division is fucking stacked, but how many heel teams are there? Like a grand total of maybe like one or two, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like, I feel like AEW hasn't really found itself yet. Like it's just getting off the ground. So answering a question like this is very difficult, because I only feel like more people are going to come in, especially when they come to TV.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to say, God, I don't know what they go. Oh, the North from freaking Impact. If they out of their contracts, they would be a perfect Four Horsemen type team.
Yeah, that's true. I can actually agree with that.
Yeah. So, all right. So then we can move on to our next set of questions. Super Blues next questions here. First up for both of us, how would you convince Kairi Sane and Finn Balor to join the Scum Squad now that the OC and EO have joined the dark side?
Oh, God. Would I even want to corrupt Kairi?
Well, you're just convincing her to come over to the dark, not to the dark side, to the Scum Squad.
Yeah. I'd be like, look, you know, you should never leave a best friend behind. Don't you want to follow where EO is? And then, you know, we're actually...
But EO isn't a member of the Scum Squad, as sad as that makes me.
Well, yeah, we'll also get EO though. See, I'm gonna work both sides because see, we need EO. That'll be the fishing lure for Kyrie to come in. But I guess if we couldn't use EO as a bargaining chip, I'd just be like, we have cool T-shirts. You want a T-shirt? We'll even give you a free T-shirt. I don't know how I would sell her on it. I really don't. I'd be like, look, didn't you have a lot of fun being Doku on Lucha Underground? Wouldn't you like to do that again?
That's a good way to sell it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, wouldn't you love to have that kind of fun again? And really, what has being nice ever gotten you? You lost to Shayna, and then the best friend that you trusted, even though in her mind she was trying to protect you, she got you away from NXT, and now what are you doing on the main roster as a good person? So, no, give in to the evil, join the Scum Squad, and rise to ultimate power!
There you go. That's a hell of a sell. Next question from Super Blue. How would you, or no, that was the one that I just read. If WWE... Sorry, not WWE. Worldwide Underground. If Worldwide Underground, Undisputed Era, and Suzuki-gun would join forces to take over the world of wrestling, what would you do? A. Join them. B. Build a team to stop them. C. Go into hiding with the Sky Pirates and sail the high seas. And he has in parentheses that sees Buddy Murphy can join you. Or D. Make a last stand and go out in a blaze of glory with Kushida of New Japan, Dolph Ziggler, Ronda Rousey, Ashton Smith, Kona Reeves, and Taguchi, with a simultaneous hip attack that fails miserably. I mean, obviously not D, because those people don't deserve to be in our presence.
Yeah, for sure. And fuck that last option.
That's what I was just saying. That was saying.
Yeah.
Literally just saying, Nick, obviously not D. Those people don't deserve.
Oh, I thought you said B.
No. I mean, B, build a team to stop them. I don't really have interest in stopping them.
I mean, look, I'm
do A or C for sure.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna put it in this. I like to win. Like, fuck.
Honestly, though, I want to see. I want to go sailing with you, me, Kyrie, Io, and Buddy. That would be fucking amazing.
That'd be cool and all, but I mean, ultimate power. I don't know.
You can pick A. I'm picking C.
All right, I'll pick A. Yeah, I'm taking the power. That sounds pretty fucking good to me.
All right. Third question from Super Blue. Should Cardiff have been the first NXT UK takeover, or is it still too soon?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Ashton? You kind of cut out. Can you repeat that one more time?
Should Cardiff have been the first NXT UK takeover, or is it still too soon?
I really didn't even like the takeover that they did, and I'm not really too optimistic about this one. I guess it should have been, because they are more into their own and they've grown more into their identity since the first takeover. But I don't know, man. I can't really get into the product, so it'd be easy for me to say it would be too soon because I'm not even a fan of theirs to begin with. So I don't even feel like I'm qualified to answer this question. But I would say, yeah, I guess, especially if you're going to headline it with Walter Bate. That's a much better headline than fucking Dunn versus whoever the hell that was. I think it was Mark something. So, yeah. Not Mark. It was, or no, it was. Yeah. No. Yeah. Or was it Joe Coffey? Was it Joe Coffey or Mark Coffey? It was Joe Coffey, right?
Against Walter at the first, or yeah.
No,
against Dunn. Yeah. It was Joe Coffey. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weak ass main event. Bait Walter, even on paper, is better. So yeah, I guess maybe this should have been the first one. What do you think, Ashton? Because I know, like me, you're not like as stoked on NXT UK as just regular NXT. So.
That's the question. I was just responding to Hypothesis in chat.
No, I just was saying, like, you are you like with me that?
Oh,
like,
yeah, really? For me, I just don't have an opinion on this because, like, I don't even know. Like, is he implying that Cardiff is like a really big deal and that NXT UK Takeover being there already is like too much, or because I just don't understand like the premise of the question. I think.
Right. That's fair.
So. Anyway, I guess we can move on. Fourth question from Super Blue. Should NXT have saved Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole 5 for War Games? And if not, how would you build their final match?
I'm of two minds. Like, I really wanted Matt Riddle in this spot, and I think you did too, Ashton, because I know we've talked about it. But, like, I get that this feud is still going, and it would be awkward to randomly drop it, like, unless you had a really good narrative reason to just do Riddle Cole. So, like, part of me says, no, just get the feud out of the way. I'm sure Riddle will get his time eventually. And another part of me is like, yeah, save it for fucking War Games. Like, this is Riddle's time. Like, he was clearly on the come up before this. And I hate the Killian Dane feud because even if he wins the feud, I feel like this does nothing but stall his momentum personally.
Yeah.
So that's really the mind that I'm at. But ultimately, I guess I'll come down on no. You know, what they're doing is fine. I'd rather they get it out of the way and either Johnny or Adam get called up or really just do something else. That's really where I'm at. Ashton, do you differ from me in any way, or are you right where I am?
No, yeah, I totally feel where you're coming from, man. I'm 100% there. I'm like not super duper looking forward to another one of these matches where Adam Cole goes for Panama Sunrise 13 times, hits it 3 times, and none of them actually get him the win. But as long as this is the last one and we're getting it done and over with, and we can move on to Cole Riddle or Cole Lee or Cole Dijakovic or Cole literally anyone else at this point, I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you to the letter, man. Right there with you to the letter.
I mean, hell, maybe even Cole Dream, if that's where if they wanted to put the North American title on Roddy or Dunn and have Dream go after Cole, I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right, so then we can move on to our fifth and final question from Super Blue. This is for Johnny Scumbag. And I'm going to read it word for word. I had to kind of summarize it in the document, so I'm going to just try my best to read this word for word. Cut a promo on fake HBK for hitting the real HBK with a fake sweet chin music, then press the button to send him along with Charlotte, Natty, and Nia to the sun.
Fake sweet chin music. So wait, what was the beginning part of that question?
Basically, cut a promo on Dolph Ziggler for super kicking Shawn Michaels, even though he's like a fake Shawn Michaels.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Dolph, we know what a fucking loser he is, right? And like, I even kind of tore into him because we didn't do reactions to like Raw Reunion. Or no, we did SmackDown Live reactions. That's right. Yeah. And I really tore into Dolph because, like, look at his fucking old ass. Like, I call him young body, old face. Look at that face. Look how many wrinkles he fucking has because he's a failure. And really, Shawn Michaels called him a Shawn Michaels wannabe. That's still too much for Dolph. Dolph should aspire at least to be dog shit because he found some way with all of his quote-unquote talent to even be lower than that. And then, yeah, like, fuck Natalya and all those other people. Of course we're going to send them into the sun because the sun will devour them, no fucking problem. In fact, you might as well shove Dolph in there too. Like,
well, no, that's what he was saying. He was saying send Dolph with them.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. We're going to shove him right in there and we're going to send them all to the fucking sun. Get all that shit out of my face. Dolph and Shane and all of them have gotten more time than Kyrie. Hell, Buddy Murphy's only gotten the town hall. That's it. He still hasn't even had a match. I don't even know if he's competing on main event because I feel like somebody would have told us if he at least was competing on main event. He's nowhere. He's collecting fucking dust, and he's one of the best in-ring workers that they have. If for nothing else, for the undercard. Like, what the fuck? Oh, my God. No, I hate him so much. It should have been me. No, it should have been you maybe like a decade ago, maybe a little over. But, like, Jesus Christ, dude. It's over. You're over, and not in the way that you want to be. It's just we've all forgotten about you, or we want to, and you just won't leave us the fuck alone. Get out of my face. Get off of my television. You're worthless. Into the fucking sun with you. God damn it, I hate Dolph Ziggler so much.
All right, let's get to our next set of questions. We've got 4 from Sal. First up, what are your thoughts on the new All That reboot?
I'm tentatively excited for it, at least for the next generation, you know, because I really enjoyed it as a kid growing up on it. And I think for this new generation with, like, new actors, it'll be something special for them. Like, it's not made for me, right? I think it's more made for them. And so for that generation, I am excited.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, personally, I can't even, like, go back and rewatch episodes of All That I loved when I was younger because it is just the epitome of cringe humor to me and I can't fucking handle it. So, you know, if they really try and channel the original with this successor and try and kind of be like a similar show for a new generation, I mean, more power to the kids that are going to enjoy it, but I guarantee you that they're all going to grow up and be like, God, how did I like that? The same way that we are.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying there.
All right, next up. Considering Eric Bischoff's run at Power in TNA, do you think having him at the helm of SmackDown is a good idea?
I do, because Vince isn't a pushover like Dixie is. Like, I hate Vince with a passion. Anybody that's listened to this knows that. But he's not Dixie Carter. And I think that's actually to Eric's benefit, because I actually think Eric will fit better under a microscope where he has some responsibilities, but he's always checked, kind of like Russo was, than in a place where he has complete free reign and he's looked at as the smartest guy in the room. Like, I'm not even trying to take the piss on Eric, genuinely. I'm only calling it like I see it. And I think, just looking at him, I think he works better when he has a filter. I think he's a lot like Russo in that way, whether people cringe at that comparison or not. So I actually do think it'll be good for him, and I hope he does some good stuff for the SmackDown brand. I really do.
I mean, I hope he does too, but haven't there been like all kinds of rumors that he'll never really actually have creative control?
Oh yeah, because Vince still gets the final say. So if you want the real truth, him being in there, it's I know there's a specific term for this.
What is this describing now?
Well, just somebody that takes like a position of power, a figurehead, I guess.
Right.
They don't have actually any power. They're just representing something. It's like an
in name only, basically.
Exactly, powerful in name only. So yeah, I don't think it's going to amount to much at all.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay. So just give me one moment. Sal's final question is an FMK.
Okay.
Bertha Faye, Nicole Bass, and Mama Benjamin.
I guess kill Nicole Bass, marry Mama Benjamin, and then fuck the last one. I didn't even catch who that last one was.
Bertha Faye, I think.
Bertha Faye, yeah, I guess.
And by the way, you don't have to kill Nicole Bass. She's already dead.
Oh, cool.
So that makes the most sense as a kill, considering we're not actually having to kill anyone now. They're just already dead.
Exactly. So there we go. My conscience is clean, and I'm still playing the game. So yeah, that's a good answer for me.
Who the hell even is Bertha Faye? I'm Googling, and I'm going to regret this. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm going to say what you said. Did you say, who did you fuck, who did you marry?
I married Mama Benjamin, and then
yeah, definitely. I feel like Mama Benjamin would definitely be the easiest to tolerate of the three, just like living with. You know what I mean? Yeah,
for sure.
So, next up, we got 5 questions from Abel.
Oh my God!
First up, what is your... it's this cute little game that I actually contributed to. Okay, let me go up and find the original post. Here it is. You have become the leader of a New Japan faction. You can recruit any 5 wrestlers from the New Japan roster, with the exceptions being the protected leaders of each faction. Who would you recruit, and what would your faction name be? And now I can go over the protected leaders. Chaos, Okada, Suzuki-gun, Suzuki, Taguchi Japan, Taguchi, LIJ, Naito, Bullet Club, Jay White. So you can't draft those 5 guys, but you can draft anyone else. You get 5 wrestlers from the New Japan roster. You're allowed to pick them from any of the factions or all of the factions if you want. Just tell us who you would recruit and then what your faction name would be.
ZSJ, Ishii, Kenta, Shingo.
Kenta's not in a faction, but we'll let it go. That works.
Well, you said just take anybody from the New Japan roster, though,
yeah. Go ahead. That works.
Yeah. So, Ishii, ZSJ.
You said, okay, so we've got ZSJ, Ishii, Kenta, Shingo, and who else?
And, because it's very important. You know what? Moxley. I'll integrate him, too.
Damn, okay.
And we're calling them NB. Actually, no, it can't be Moxley. And you know what? It can't be ZSJ either. Fuck, because I had a theme for this. So we'll take the 2 of them out. I'm trying to think. Fuck. Oh, man. Oh, fuck. Okay. Ishii, Kenta, Shingo. I need 2 more. Come on. Who else? Evil, I guess. Yeah, evil works, I guess. And fuck. One more. Just one more. I got to do one more. You know what? I don't really like it. I don't really care for it. But fucking Makabe. We'll do Makabe.
Okay.
And I was going to call them NBK for natural born killers because they're natural Japanese. They're not Gaijin. So it's like this all Japanese faction, like no Gaijin.
Ooh, I like that though. That's neat. I like that. I like that.
I wanted better members because I feel like it started to get diluted towards the end, but I wanted it to be more thematic. Like the theme is more what I'm selling here than anything else. So yeah, that works.
All right. Okay. All right. So mine, I would pick Sonata for sure. Let's see. Ibushi.
Okay.
Spray.
Okay.
Dragon Lee.
All right.
And let's see. Sonata, Ibushi, Osprey, Dragon Lee, and Goto. No, not Goto. Forget Goto. Drop Goto. Trying to think because I have a theme too, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Nada, Ibushi, Osprey, Dragon Lee. And you know what? He's not protected. Fuck it. Tanahashi. That's my group. 5.
Awesome, man. I love it.
And the name. Wait, did Abel? Who did I? Apparently, I said that I was going to pick someone to Abel. I don't remember at all. But anyway, yeah, that's the group that I'm so far. That's the group that I'm picking. Actually, you know what? Thank you, Chiefin. The Chiefin just helped me because he mentioned ELP. I'll take Phantasmo instead of Tanahashi, so that way we can keep the core of the group young.
Nice. I like that a lot, actually.
So yeah, so it would be Sonata, Ibushi, Osprey, Phantasmo, and Dragon Lee. So that's my group of 5, and the team name is Air Raid.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, because it's like the 5 most athletic, flippy, high-flying kind of guys in New Japan that I can think of.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I like that.
All right, so next up, our second question from Abel. What is your biggest regret as a wrestling podcaster?
I mean, for me, it would definitely be my 6-month hiatus when we were originally on Podbean, because I know that definitely slowed business down considerably. Other than that, I feel like we handle things relatively well. Yeah. I mean, obviously, there are going to be those moments of drama, which I hate and are so exhausting, but I will say I think we handle them supremely well. I mean, I certainly handle it better, I think, being a part of TWitWoW than I ever did, back in my early days as pacifist and stuff. So really, I think my biggest regret would come down to me. But, we've done really well since then, and we've recouped like anything that we lost, in my.
I mean, yeah, that is the thing. It does say as a wrestling podcaster, not just with TWitWoW.
So yeah, as a wrestling podcaster, like if I was focusing just on me, especially in my early run, because there are times where I'm like, God, should I have even done this at all? Just the drama was so cancerous, and I think you get involved in it, and it just really sucks the soul out of you. I made horrible friendships for people that weren't worth it and were incredibly immature. I got involved in drama with people that were nothing more than callous bullies that just really didn't care for anything than their own amusement. It really took the fun out of wrestling for me because, I mean, this is an incredible platform where you can disseminate your ideas to the world. And that was a power that clearly I could not handle. And even if I could handle it, I guess the world couldn't handle me having it, and that's like where all the drama fucking comes in. So yeah, I would definitely say like if it's TWitWoW, I already said the hiatus I took, which, granted things were very bad in my life, but there's always a better way to handle things. And I understand that now. Thank God for therapy. And just as pacifist, yeah, it's just the fucking drama. It was so toxic to me. I'm curious though, Ashton, from your perspective, any regrets you might have? Because I know you did your own videos for a little bit, and then really it's just been TWitWoW for you ever since.
Yeah,
So,
low key, I think my biggest regret was us kind of almost over committing to WWE from early on, because at the very beginning we were only covering WWE, and like there was a point that we would try and cover ROH, and that didn't work out. And even now with like NXT, and like I wish I would have kind of spread my wings and found especially like Japanese wrestling sooner.
yeah, I can that regret completely resonates for sure.
And I
Absolutely.
given it more of a spotlight as soon as we possibly could have, because like our first New Japan live reaction was Wrestle Kingdom 9, but like really I really wish we would have gotten into it like a year or two earlier, because then we would have been able to really see the rise of Naito from nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And you always want to be there to document those moments.
Yeah.
You know, just to be like, I was there when Naito like resuscitated his career. That's I think one reason why I was so stoked on Bray, because I felt like I am single-handedly witnessing a person, or I should say, I'm witnessing a person single-handedly resuscitating their career.
Yeah.
Like terrible fucking booking, and it always feels so good when you're a party to that.
Yep.
So yeah, I totally get what you're saying, bro. Absolutely.
All right. Third question from Abel. How would you fix Game of Thrones Season 8?
Well, first, I think if you want to fix Game of Thrones Season 8, Abel, it needs 500% more of your face. But more importantly, on a structural level, I don't know. Because I feel like... What was I going to say? I feel like the early seasons were so strong because they had the books to follow.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Like, I know it would be unprecedented for a TV show to do this, but this just wasn't any TV show. Like, it defined a culture. I would have said, hey, George, we're not putting out any more Game of Thrones. Like, almost put the gun to his head until, like, you finish these books. But I don't know if it still would have come out awful, because you're just rushing one creative process and switching it with rushing another creative process.
Yeah, I was even going to say, like, to me, the best way to fix Game of Thrones Season 8 is to make it so that you really stretch out the books. You know what I mean? Like, Season 1 covered Book 1 pretty much in its entirety, but then they started kind of picking and choosing to the point that like seasons, I want to say like parts of Seasons 4 and parts of Season 5 were taken from the last book. But like I just feel like, knowing how slow of a writer George is, and knowing like how much quicker the television process is, they should have been aiming to really stretch it out much more than they did. Because like even George has been quoted saying, like, I would have been fine with them doing 10, 12, even 13 seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would have literally like fucking got down on my hands and knees and kissed George R.R. Martin's feet and just asked him, what do you think we should do? And fucking do that thing.
Yeah, pretty much. And really, if you're like, okay, but focusing specifically on that season, you know, I don't even really think, to be truthful, like, I make it seem like some grand project. I don't even think you'd have to change that much. Like, I know, Ashton, you and I watched a video analysis of the Battle of Winterfell, and that guy even said, which I already thought, like, enhanced the battle immensely, where it was like he would have some people dying. I even forget, like, who he mentioned. But, like, he would do things completely differently. And I think he even said, like, he wouldn't have the Night King go down the way that he did. I think even changing that battle would have immensely, like, improved the season, because you built up the Night King as this huge threat, and then he gets taken out in one, granted, very intense, very emotionally driven episode, which I did enjoy. Like, I even said, like, I love the drama. I loved how Lyanna Mormont went down like a fucking boss. And all that stuff. There was a lot of good to it. But if we're looking at something not just as a part, but as like a grand whole, and we're looking at it thematically, like all this stuff, yeah, it left some bits to be desired. And then, like, you know, so you take out that one threat, which was fascinating, because I still feel like there was so much we didn't know about the Night King and so much about this threat and what they were after. So, you know, like, I I really feel like they could have done a lot more than that. And then when you have fucking Khaleesi, freaking become the main villain, it's like, fine, I guess, but it's like I feel like her being the villain wasn't necessarily earned, and it was just like kind of a sporadic thing because
it felt very much like a 2-episode thing that they took her from, like the saving grace to the villain over the course of maybe 2, maybe even 3 episodes at most.
Exactly, yeah. It just felt like such a big fucking leap.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't care for that. And then look, I'm sorry, because you'd think maybe I'd be about this, given that I am disabled, and I have talked about, in other venues, disability in popular culture. But Bran becoming the fucking king, like, I wasn't here for that.
Dude, and here's how fucking bad the writing was this season, too. Because in episode, 2, Bran explicitly tells Tyrion, I don't really want any more.
Yeah.
Episode 6 comes around and Tyrion says, do you want to be king? And he says, why do you think I've come all this way? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
So he has done everything that he has done to set himself up as the king despite not wanting anything anymore? Fuck right off with that garbage.
I mean, maybe if you wanted to twist yourself in a pretzel and make a counter argument, you could say that since Bran or the Three-Eyed Raven, whatever the fuck he is, has seen like all the events come to pass, it's just him fulfilling his responsibility and just going along with the current of fate or whatever you want to call it. And maybe him not wanting anything makes him the ideal political ruler because, without ambition, that I don't really, because I think ambition's like a gateway to violence, or at least if I don't think it, I think the show thinks it on some level, right? So if he doesn't want anything and he already has like this ordained power of prescience, I think it would make other leaders wary to start shit with him because he would already know how it ends. And he would also be ready to prepare for any threat in kind. So I get on paper like why he really is like the ideal ruler. But again, it just doesn't feel earned at all. Like, I honestly, dude, and maybe because it just felt so long ago, like, I get that Bran and his friends struggled to get him to the tree where the former Three-Eyed Raven was and stuff like that. But I'm sorry. Like, I felt other people struggled for their shit far worse and had to pay a lot more than what he did, personally. Yeah. I would have been cool with Sansa sitting on the throne. I would have been cool with fucking, more or less anybody, but I know then quickly.
Yeah, I was even, like, that's my thing, too, is, like, I feel like the show did such a poor job of writing certain characters over the last few seasons that it made people stop rooting for them to become king. Like, Tyrion specifically comes to mind as somebody who, through 5 seasons, was such an obvious #1 candidate to be a rightful, just ruler. But by the time season 8 rolls around, he's making such awful decisions. He doesn't seem smart anymore. And frankly, we stop rooting for him because of how awfully he's written.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I'm saying, though, like, if you want to fix season 8, you would have to fix seasons 5, 6, and 7 to begin with.
Yeah, that's a tall fucking order. That's a tall fucking order.
Especially 6 and 7. 5 was still, like, I feel like, wasn't 5 the one that had Oberyn Martell in his fight with the mountain and shit like that? Because that was good shit. That was genuinely great Game of Thrones type stuff.
Right.
Season 6 and 7 were really where the quality felt like it was diminishing strongly.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans would agree with you there.
And then season 8 was just a fucking disaster and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think you really said it best. If you want to fix season 8, you have to go to like 5, 6, and 7 and do that. So
yeah, especially 6 and 7.
Yeah, especially 6 and 7. So answering in that way, I think we can move on to our next question personally.
All right, 4th question from Abel. How would you fix the immigration policy in the United States?
Oh, I can sum this up in 2 fucking words. No borders.
Boom, baby.
And really, here's the crazy thing. Can I just add on one thing to this before we get responses that I know I'm just going to have to suppress and all that shit? Even economists in this fucking shithole of a system, I feel like over 90%, I'm not even trying to pull a percentage out of my ass. I could swear, I'd have to look it up. Maybe somebody will. I'm not in the mood to do it today. but I feel like even economists have said, yeah, no borders would be great because that would increase like the productivity of trade. Like trade would go up and we'd be able to trade more easily, and trade like drives shit up. So even if you're not an anarcho-communist like I am, and I've said it explicitly on here, I do not give a fuck. Even if you are the most ardent capitalist, like, well, I believe that it's good that people are wealthy because they're able to create more jobs. You should be in favor of no borders, if for no other reason because you get to line your pockets even further. So fuck borders. Yeah, no borders, Abel. That's my immigration policy. Arbitrary lines on a fucking map. Get the fuck out of here. Ashton, do you have anything you'd like to add as the more sensible voice in the room?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm of the no borders mindset as well, because it's, I mean, you even mentioned fucking economically it would help us as far as like trade goes and stuff like that. Plus, like, I've always been a big fan of the idea, like with drugs, people get put in prison for marijuana, and then people say like, oh, well, that person is a criminal. Well, they're only a criminal because you say that what they did, which is a harmless act, is a crime. But if you decriminalize that, all of a sudden these people aren't criminals anymore. Same goes for the quote unquote illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants or whatever you want to call them. If what they're doing stops being a crime, they stop being fucking criminals. It's as simple as labeling.
Yeah, and then you can stop putting them in fucking concentration camps and separating them from their fucking family.
Yeah.
No, because because I did.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, like I did the economics thing to try and appeal to the broader base, but just to speak more to my politics, like it's, to me, borders as well as a dehumanization practice. Like when you have these people that come over from lands that more than likely have been destabilized because of our fucking practices in the first place of imperialism and bombing and this and that and economic sanctions and whatever. And they come over and you're like, no, we don't want your kind here. Send those immigrants from Norway. Like, that's not a dog whistle of anything. No, of course not. That's absurd. And it's just the most dehumanizing shit. It is so fucking gross. Like, guys, you gotta understand, I'm gonna get a little personal here. Because, like, when I've opened up about my personal life, which I try very rarely to do, I really do try and keep that shit at home, but I need to say this. Anybody that's listened to the podcast long enough, and we've done those special episodes where I've talked about my home life, where my parents weren't good, they were hooked on drugs, me and my sister were left alone a lot. I was threatened. Like, if I would talk about anything to anybody, that, like, my sister would be ripped away from me and we'd go to – so I take that shit of family separation very seriously because of my traumatic childhood. And the idea that we are separating children from their parents and most of those children now are going to go into foster centers to be adopted by white families to possibly never see their mother or father again is the most disgusting thing, and all because of this border ideology of – these people are acceptable. These people
are. Well, and it really, at that point, it genuinely does come down to a race issue, because you've got people like Trump and his followers saying America should be white again.
Yeah,
they and that's really say that. They won't ever literally say America needs to be white again, ever. But they cover that shit up and they espouse all of these euphemistic language bullshit, and that's basically what they're saying, though, is like, we want to get these people out of the country because they're not white, because America is supposed to be for white people and they're coming into the country. Like, I would love to know how Trump would feel if, like, fucking Britain had refugees coming over. Like, would Trump want to kick their asses out too? Probably not. How about Canada? Have we really been cracking down on Canadian immigration? Fucking no, because they're white, they're not brown. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's such coded language, dude. It's
exactly, and that's the thing too, is that it works on so many people too, and like, you're painting these people as criminals because they're breaking an immoral law.
Yeah, which, like, Jesus Christ. And you know what the really scary thing is, and I told my sister, and I don't want this I think it's too late and I take responsibility for it. It's because I didn't want this to get off the rails.
Yeah. Mark put it best in chat, and I'm gonna kind of just change the wording a little bit. You're calling these people criminals because they crossed an imaginary line without the right pieces of paper in their possession.
But then I look, I'm sorry, because I'm not even, let me reiterate again. No borders. No fucking borders. That's not the claim I'm making. But I find it hilarious, right? I find it fucking hilarious when a white person like crosses a border and does some stupid shit in a place where they know that they're going to get smacked down, like that guy that got apprehended by North Korean officials because he stole a poster or something. Which, you know, I'm sorry, but like, that's a whole other commentary for another time. But everybody was like, oh, send him home, and they're so evil. Look at what we're doing.
Yeah.
We've got people in fucking detention
centers. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would love to hear what the average American would say if they were to hear a story about some other country doing to Americans what we do to other people from other countries on a regular basis under Trump.
Yes. Yes, and it's all because, and this is why, because you said something earlier that I wanted to substantiate, you know, through my own vantage point, because I know we agree on a lot, but we do have some differences, that you said, like, it works, and it's so effective. And it's so effective because if we see these people, if we see black and brown, all these types of people, as subhuman, or not even like human at all, but just something else entirely, then it doesn't seem so bad. Because, oh, they're not human like me, or they're not like me, so why should I care? And yeah, like I look at it, you know, and I just feel like I even have a book called Border Imperialism that I've been meaning to read because it's only gotten more relevant. And Hypothesis, let me just, because I let a lot go. I'd be very curious to know the fucking source to that, because that sounds like some fucking Breitbart shit. You know, like I keep hearing that shit, and you know where I commonly hear it, to be fair, and I'm not saying this against you. I'm just saying I more commonly hear it from right-wing fucking sources, like Breitbart or fucking God, what's his fucking name? Paul Joseph Watson. Joseph Watson, Alex Jones. Yeah, Alex Jones, people like that. Well, Hypothesis, you know, you can help out a foreign country stop interventions. That's another thing, too. That's what I'm going back to. If you don't want people to immigrate, which is fucking stupid, again, for the third time, so I'm not taking it out of context, it's fucking stupid, okay? But if you're really like, no immigration, this country is mine, not yours, mine, stop bombing their fucking countries then. Like, it is amazing to me, dude, and mind-numbing, and maybe I picked the wrong fucking day for this, because you already know before this, for personal reasons, that I was not in a good mood. But, like, I love that we're the only country audacious enough to think that we can do shit to everybody else without consequence. Because, dude, you know for a fact that if we got bombed the way that we bomb other countries, we would not stand for that shit at all. Like, at all. We would do, like...
But that's the thing, though, is we would just keep doing more of what we already do, only that country would now be on our fucking radar.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, like...
I love how Hypothesis is naming people in chat, and I'm just like, wow, you're really good at naming piece of shit left-wing people. Like...
And I would, dude, even calling them left-wing to me is fucking...
Yeah, especially laughable. Bill Maher. Like, fuck, that smug fuck.
Yeah, Mark Schoeneman said it best. Bill Maher is what right-wingers think left-wingers are. No, I am far more fucking radical than Bill Maher. Give me 5 minutes with Bill Maher. His jaw would be on the fucking floor of what I believe.
He is literally... Bill Maher does more bad for actual liberals than most conservatives.
And like... Mark, you and I need to talk more, by the way, because I'd be more curious about what you believe. But
and the Amazing Atheist is a fucking asshole of a human being, like, actually.
And I feel like he probably has more reactionary positions that I can't get into, because, like, I haven't watched him in so long, but he's made fun of feminists and he's made fun of, like, all this shit, which, like, super left-wing my ass. I highly doubt that. I highly fucking doubt that. Because even the videos I used to, unless he's had an ideological shift, because keep in mind, I haven't watched him in several years. So I could be in the wrong about this. I am open to that. But the Amazing Atheist I remember, nah. He's just also very libertarian. So, oh Jesus. No, John. No, John. Pull back. But no, yeah. I don't agree. Like, at all. At all. I think if those are the people that, like, because especially too when you're like, oh, Germany opened its borders, that to me again goes back to that coded language of, and you know what came in? The Muslims. Oh God, no, and it's so fucking dehumanizing and gross, because I've heard the same shit. Oh, Germany opened their borders and now we've got Muslim gang rapes of these young white women, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. And it's all from these right-wing actors that like want to cause chaos, that want to push a white supremacist narrative.
Yep.
And again, to bring it all full circle, all goes back to because they think borders are some sacred right. When again, you see fucking white stupid pieces of shit like that guy. Now, come on. You got a young white guy going to fucking North Korea when you know everything over there and you're like, I'm going to steal a poster. Now, again, I'm not saying he deserved what he got, but look how hard we fought for this fucking dude when he stole a poster and he did shit that like he knew in a country, right or wrong, he was going to really get penalized for. But no, he's the saint. He's a good man. But people that want to give their children a better life, crossing dangerous waters, risking themselves to what God knows what kind of violence, no, they're the monsters. They're horrible people. Get the fuck with all of that shit out of my fit. It's not the day today. It's not the fucking day today. No, it's bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit. Borders are bullshit. So Abel, sweetheart, to return to your question, you beautiful man, no fucking borders. Nobody is illegal. That is all fucking bullshit. Down with this fucking border imperialism. That's my fucking answer to that question.
Felt good to say, didn't it?
You know what, dude? Because I really like, and I think you know, I really try to be good, man. Because I know my politics are abnormal compared to like the. For God's sake, centrism is more normal these days than like my fucking ideology. Yes, but like, there's only so much a man can take. I'm sorry for snapping. I apologize. I try and be respectful of this platform.
Guys, just to give you an idea of how much of a fucking saint this man is, that rant that he just went on was his idea of him snapping.
Yeah, like, just hate wingers so much. Hate them so much. So I'm gonna suck it back in. And no, hypothesis. I just need to add. No, because like I don't want to come at you, dude. I actually like you for the most. I think I'd like you more if we just got high together. But like, fuck Obama too. Leftists do not like Obama.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
leftists do not like Obama.
Well, Obama was centrist. Obama was fucking pre-Hillary.
Obama did drone strikes and mass deportations. Hypothesis, if you talk to a leftist, now let me spell this out for you, hypothesis, and I hope you're sober enough for this. Liberal isn't left. We fucking hate liberals just as much as we hate right-wingers. Leftists, when I talk about anarchism and communism, we don't fuck with liberals. We don't fuck with liberals. Obama's a piece of shit too. Ask any black leftist. They're like, no, we don't want Obama because we don't want black capitalism. We don't want like black presidency. We don't want anything like that in this system. We want a completely new system. So fuck Obama too. I got no qualm saying that. I mean, is he better than any right-wing government? I would say so. I'd say right-wing is always the worst case
scenario. I feel like on one of our first Q&As, and it might have even been the literal first Q&A we ever did, we got a question about the U.S. presidents, and our answer was basically every single last one of them was a piece of shit, except for maybe like JFK and FDR. And that's...
Well, I mean, yeah, I believe you know that liberalism is different, but like it seemed like you were deporting, like you used Obama to be like, oh yeah, liberalism isn't great. Yeah, no, liberalism isn't fine. No, liberalism is trash. Because what?
See, no, this is where I get confused because I don't know how you're defining liberalism.
Because I feel like, God, and see, this would become a whole other thing. I feel like liberalism wants to keep the status quo in check. But they want to make
conservatism, like the definition of conservatism.
Well, no, because let me finish. But like, I feel like they want to make it more palatable in some ways. So like, we won't like change the power structure or anything, but maybe we will do something like, I don't know, the ADA, like the Americans with Disability Act. I'm going to focus on my lived experience because I would get more uncomfortable talking about things that don't belong to me. But disabled anarchist stuff, we fucking hate the ADA because it doesn't fucking work. Like it's trash. So I feel like they both want to maintain the status quo, but they want to do it differently. I really think they do it differently. And Democrat, liberal guys, then I think we're getting into semantics, which honestly, like even I'm not as equipped. I would just say that like for me, there is a distinction between even like the liberalism as we understand it today and being a leftist. Because I think even liberal, if you want to look at liberals like Nancy Pelosi, she even said at a recent event, oh, we've always been capitalist. Capitalism isn't bad. Well, that right there is the biggest departure, right? Because, you know, leftists are like, you know, fuck that. So, yeah. And Mark Schuneman has never used as liberal or anything. But again, Mark Schuneman, I got no problem with you. I actually want to talk to you more, to pick your brain more, to see where exactly we align and where we don't. But no, I'm very hard left. I'm like very hard, like Kropotkin, Marx, like that kind of left. So yeah, that's really kind of what
fucking iconic. Always has to get that in there.
Yeah, fucking tribalism and iconic. I don't know if you ever read those books that I sent you, But I'm trying to meet you halfway. I mean, I kind of like the internet, and I kind of like modern convenience, and I don't think I'd look so good in a loincloth. But we'll talk. But yeah, man, I think I took us way off track, and again, I apologize. But it was the wrong fucking day for a political question with my mood, and that was cathartic. So I actually feel a bit better.
I'm so glad that you got to vent, though. It's always so good.
Yeah, so next question.
Fifth and final question from Abel. If you were building a Mount Rushmore for professional wrestling, who would be on it and why?
Shouldn't Adam Cole be every face?
I mean, if you want to make it like maximum attractiveness, yes.
Oh, God. I probably just said something, but we already moved on from that question. Yeah, I mean, maximum attractiveness, absolutely. I guess for a Mount Rushmore wrestling, I mean, Hogan would have to be on there whether you like the guy or not. Cena, I think, for having the most staying power of any top guy, would have to be on there. Absolutely. Let's see, who else? Austin, definitely. So Hogan, Cena, Austin for me there. But we said pro wrestling, though, and there's more than pro wrestling in America. Tanahashi, I think, would have to be on there because it's only 5 faces, right?
4.
4. Oh, God, 4. Gee. Okay, well, if I really tried to keep it to just pro wrestling and thinking about pro wrestling on that end, I would say Austin. I'd put Tanahashi on there, honestly. I'd put Tanahashi on there. Who is one of the biggest Mexican wrestling stars, Ashton? Because if I wanted to do like international and think about the wrestling
La
world,
Máscara, I think.
Mil Máscara, I think I would put on there.
No. La Máscara.
Yeah, Mil Máscara.
I said La
Mil Máscara. I missed the law there. Yeah, I do that.
I mean, Mil Máscaras is another one, but.
But yeah, Austin, Tanahashi, Mil Máscara. Okay, so, and then the fourth one. Fuck. I think I'd probably do Bruno Sammartino. So I do Bruno. So yeah, that would be my Mount Rushmore, and I actually think that's pretty fair. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Let's see. Who is the most influential luchador of all time? I'm Googling. You know how I do.
I know how you do. That's fine.
El Santo!
Oh yeah, I even saw that mentioned in chat. Unless that's what you were referring to. El
Santo would probably be like the Hogan of Mexico, or actually that's even further back. He's like 1930s.
Yeah, I'm curious who ultimately you're going to come up with for your Mount Rushmore.
Well, I already know what mine is because I've actually done this little exercise before. I would choose 2 McMahons and 2 members of the old Goldust trio. So Vincent J. McMahon, Jess McMahon, Joseph Mont, and Ed Lewis.
Nice.
So you've got the, Jess McMahon was Vince's grandfather, and he was the one that really like mainstreamified pro wrestling in the U.S. You've got Vincent J. McMahon, who was Vince's dad, and really the last honorable McMahon, as far as I'm concerned, because fuck Vince. Vince K, the guy that we know of now. Ed Strangler Lewis was like the most dominant world heavyweight champion in the 20s and 30s. And then Joe Mont was legitimately like a fucking creative visionary and basically brought show business to pro wrestling.
Nice. I really like your answer, dude. I tried to give mine more of an international flair, given that, again, it was a Mount Rushmore of wrestling and not just WWE. But I really liked your take on it, too. So, next question.
Mark had 5. First up, what G1 upset that's still possible at the time of Q&A do you hope most happens? Or most hope happens, I should say.
I would consider Kenta beating Okada an upset to a degree because he's still from the outside.
I mean, yeah, it's a fucking huge upset if it happens.
Yeah, so I'll say Kenta beating Okada. You?
I'm gonna pull up our G1 predictions to see what matches are left. Let's see. How about... Sonata beating Okada.
Yes, because he's never done it yet. Perfect.
All right.
Next question.
Second question from Mark. If you can make a concert of any 3 bands, who would you see?
With my tastes right now, I'd say Every Hour Kills. You know what? I'm going to say Mosaic because those guys are fucking sweethearts. And they even said they wanted to meet me, so it'd be a win-win for both of us because I love their music. Mosaic. And Dear Agony, I've been very sweet on lately.
What was the first one?
Raven Face.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay.
All right. What about you, Ashton? What 3 groups?
I would say Dorothy.
Okay.
Man, I don't know if Howard is back. Let me look it up. Because I know that he left, but he might be back, but he also might not be. I don't think he is now that I look. Members. Howard is not back. Okay, so Killswitch is out. All right, the Black Keys. Actually, no, scrap the Black Keys. I know my 3. I would do Dorothy, Alabama Shakes, and Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown. Those would be my 3 bands. There we go.
I really like that. Can I just say, I love that I was able to answer a band question and not mention Breaking Benjamin or 3 Days Grace. Like,
Dude, I know. I knew you'd be able to. And the thing is, Mark even posed the question, like, this is for Ashton, but John can answer it too if he feels like he can. And I knew you'd be able to, so I just asked it as a both question because I.
Oh, your faith in me means everything. Oh, my God. All right, next.
You paid it off, brother. You paid it off.
Yeah.
Third question from Mark. Which of these new Marvel movies / series are you most looking forward to?
The new Doctor Strange movie, most definitely.
Yes, that is easily number 1 for me, is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I would even argue, honestly, that WandaVision is probably number 2 for me.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with that. I'd actually agree with that. Really
Thor:
everything
Love and
coming
Thunder?
to. Yeah. Let me think. Yeah, I'm just really excited for fucking Doctor Strange and
Eternals?
WandaVision. Eternals should be really good. Really everything they came out with, I'm hyped for, honestly.
You know what though? It's not announced for Phase 5, but it was announced. Blade, motherfucker.
Yes.
And
Blade.
again, wasn't announced for Phase 5 or for Phase 5, but Feige did mention it. Fantastic Four and Mutants, baby, cannot get here soon enough.
Oh, please give me a proper cinematic adaptation of Doctor Doom. I will suck every dick to get that done.
I totally would too.
No, John, you went on. You did your 1 rant of Q&A quota. You used it up. Do not go into your Doctor Doom fandom right now. There will be a time and a place.
You get as many rants on Q&As as you damn well please.
He's just so good. People, you need to.
I have legitimately, guys, I want everyone to know, I've literally never heard John this excited about a comic book character before, ever.
Because, guys, you got to understand, like, when there's a character I'm interested in, because there have been so many comics in the history of humanity, and the only comic series I'm currently dedicated to is Deadly Class, which even then I'm kind of building up a backlog so I can just have fucking marathon it. I go on the Marvel or DC wiki, like their database, and I research the character that way. So, like, Ra's al Ghul, for DC, like, I love that character. I love the idea of the Lazarus Pit. That was one thing. But then Doctor Doom happened. And, like, here's how fucking amazing this guy. Just really make the rant as concise as possible and just focus on the biggest shit. I saw a comic panel posted by Spoonie on his Twitter. He used to work for Channel Awesome, and I think he's still doing, like, the Spoonie Project, his own independent thing. He once shared a comic panel of Doctor Doom ripping Thanos' soul out. Like, that is some Mortal Kombat shit. And it was fucking amazing. Thanos is coming up. Oh, Doctor Doom, what are you going to do now? Oh, gee, that's a nice soul. You got the yank! And, like, amazing. Yeah. And then you're talking about a guy. And look, just to get ahead of it, Reed Richards is a genius too. Pipe down, Mark. This isn't about you.
Reed Richards is a genius that can't even do sorcery. What is his worth? Nothing.
Thank you, sexiest choir ever. Because that's the thing. Dr. Doom, okay, can do science and sorcery. And he rescued his own mother from hell. Like, took her spirit away from hell and liberated her. That's how deep his fucking magic is.
Dr. Doom is like what would happen if you took MCU Tony Stark and MCU Stephen Strange and made them fuck, and that's the baby.
Yeah, yes! And more importantly than even that, the dude has done what no other supervillain can seem to do, maybe because they aim too high, or maybe because, they just suck at what they do, which is also possible. He owns
maybe a little column A, a little column B.
Yes, again, thank you. He owns his own country. He owns his country. Latveria, yeah, when the citizens, like, when the Fantastic Four are pretty much act like the U.S., this country could use more freedom, and they try and intervene, you know what the citizens tell them? We're happy.
We're good. Yeah.
This motherfucker is on his shit in the best way. Fuck y'all's faves. Dr. Doom is the shit. And I stand forever and ever and ever until he gets a proper fucking movie. Because I'm sorry.
Oh, you know what, dude? It's not a part of Q&A, but I think that it's an appropriate question to answer. Who should play Dr. Doom?
And who did you say, Ashton? Because you had the perfect actor for this. You said somebody that I'm blanking on.
Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender, yes. That's our fucking nomination. And you know something? With the MCU, but with how much fucking, like, Disney might as well just be coming out with its own unique currency system because they're making so much goddamn money. Fucking Mickey bills.
Hey, John,
Mickey
you got
money.
30 Disney bucks to spare? I could really go watch Hercules again.
Yeah, exactly. They have the means, the resources to make not only an amazing Fantastic Four movie, because who gives a fuck about that, but we need a proper Doctor Doom representation. We really, 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 really do. And he's just such an incredible
has
villain.
there been a character in, like, comic book history that was more, like, that was whiffed on more than Dr. Victor Von Doom? Because
I don't think so, man.
He's been attempted 2 or 3 times now, and every time anyone tries a cinematic version of that character, it's just garbage. It's so bad.
And dude, like, you almost want to tilt your head to the side, like, to
they
make
couldn't
sure
even get his appearance right in Fance Four Stick.
Yeah, like, dude, it's so bad. And especially because everything that I listed off, again, comes from the Marvel database. So then you just have to ask, like, you have a guy that's a monarch who has diplomatic immunity to Chiefin's point, because that's a great point too. Wall can't even touch him. Oh, you're under arrest. Am I? Shit. A guy that's fucking brilliant scientifically, and so again, those two things, science and sorcery, masters both, right? And like, yeah, can do all this shit. How do you, with a character that's existed, I think since the 60s, but I could be off about that. But for decades.
You know what? I'm Googling.
Yeah. Yeah, because like...
First appearance was in 1962. You know you're Doom.
Yeah, dude. Since the fucking 60s, and you said 62, right?
Yep.
That's over 50 years.
It's damn near 60.
Dr. Doom. Damn near 60 years of Dr. Doom. And this is the fucking shit you can come up with. Go kill yourself. Into the sea with you. And if you don't want to kill yourself, then you need to try harder, because honestly, your living is looking a lot like a privilege to me right now rather than a right, if you're going to keep doing this fuck shit. But I just thought, even this makes her... No, you stick to the fucking comics, you little insignificant pest. You write that shit right.
It's just so dumb, too, because, like, the first Fantastic Four movie that I watched was the one in 2005 with Jessica Alba.
Oh, God,
a fucking hot-ass Latina woman and tried their best to make her look white with blonde hair and blue contacts.
Yeah, oh, Jesus.
And then, like, fucking apparently Von Doom's powers in that movie were electrical manipulation, and that's fucking it.
Yeah, like...
Oh, he can control electricity, and I think he could do stuff with metal in that movie, too, but, like, that's it.
Way to fucking nerf a god, you pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
And then I'm not even going to talk on Fant Four Sticks edition of Doctor Doom, because what an absolute tragedy that shit was.
And I'm so, because like we have already talked about how Ash and how for like the next phase, it seems like the big villain is going to be Galactus. Seemingly.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, I hope so.
And then that's going to be great. But I really do hope that, you know, if we get like that Fantastic Four movie the way I'm envisioning it, they go all out with Doom. Like, this isn't even a villain that you can take out in one movie. Like, in fact, if I'm being completely truthful, and I know this is the fandom talking, there is so much source material here. He deserves his own standalone film. Like, you could do your own standalone film. You could even do a standalone film of how he became the monarch of Latveria. Like, you could do that. That could be a movie. I would be so fucking here for it. You know, I don't even
just
go out to the...
fuck the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We need the VVD Cinematic Universe.
Yes, we do. In fact, I don't feel complete as a man until this happens. You know, I think only Cole, fucking Mundo, and Kyrie are holding me together. But man, like, if you just want to return my soul to my fucking body, you give me this goddamn
Unlike
movie.
something that Von Doom would do with Thanos.
Yes, I was gonna be like, if you wanted me to be better than Thanos, you know, because I'm still intact, you know, give me this fucking movie. So yeah, dude, like that promise stuff. Now, Feige is how you pronounce it, because I think
Kevin Feige, yeah.
Feige. He apparently got control of the Deadpool movies, and people are worried that they're gonna lose their edge. But I think Disney has assured us they're still gonna be rated R and stuff. So I'm hoping that that's the case, because any future Deadpool films, like, obviously I'm here for. But yeah,
dude,
like,
Deadpool 2 was dope as hell.
Dude, MC, let me tell you something about the Marvel Cinematic Universe people and just Disney in general. They have got this shit on lock. They have pretty much learned how to automate making money. Just keep producing in this goddamn universe. Like,
it's unbelievable though that like this gigantic soulless corporation manages to put out genuine quality content as well.
Yeah, and just buying up all those
like if we're talking about like fuck, what's the studio that makes like the Minions movies and shit?
Oh, Illumination.
Yeah, like Illumination is everything that Disney probably should be at this point, but they still manage to have a fucking soul somehow.
Yeah, really. And like the way they're buying up all the screens at the theaters, and just somebody being like, but I worked 13 years on this screenplay. I'm sorry about that, fuck boys. I have all the money here. So, yeah,
just
like
say that out loud.
I think Disney looks at the competition and it's like...
You know, that reminded me, though, of something that Leslie Chow would have said.
But
Too bad, fuck boys.
But, you know, I look at it as the mouse being like, oh, I get artistic integrity and passion and all that stuff, but I need to make some fucking money. And just like, you know, kicking every artist in the balls, like, fuck your dreams. Do you see how fat this wallet is? It could be even fatter if you weren't getting in the fucking way. But we need to make money too. That means I have less. Do you not see the problem?
Do you know what I love more than anything?
I feel like
you didn't answer. I was asking a question.
Because I'm trying to get my shit together here. Yes, what do you like, Mickey? What do you like?
Motherfucking capitalism.
Not only are you not going to your room, I think you could just stay here until the end of time. But yeah, it's so horrifying to me that Disney's going to take over the world, because you know they will.
Yup.
But, you know...
And we'll smile all the way.
We will. Like, I'm definitely going to be the pearl-clutching one, like, smiling, being like, well, you know, that Dr. Doom, they did finally get it right before I'm put into the processing unit. And be like, now you serve the mouse, always and forever. But no, man, the MCU looks fucking stacked. Disney Plus is looking amazing, too. You know, definitely more excited, though, for just purely the movie stuff.
Yeah, you know what? Ella does have a good point, though. Apparently, the new live-action movies are pretty garbage. So, yeah, it seems like Disney has taken the soul out of their own original properties and shoved it into the purchased ones.
Yeah, it's like, no, what did you do? We evolved. But how many souls? How many childhoods have you ruined? Enough.
Doesn't really matter how many, as long as we're making that money.
You need to behave yourself right now. That is too good. We still have Q&A to do. So, next question.
What even were we on? Okay, the next question is for me only. How will the Bears do this season? Poorly, actually. I know that Bears fans are probably like really excited for their 2019 season, but I'm here to damper the mood, everybody. Are you ready?
Oh my god! Sorry, that was football related. You just got really excited, and then I got really excited.
So, okay. So here is why I think that the Bears are going to be worse, and not just a little worse, but like significantly worse this season. All right. So I'm going to say this first, and I'm also going to repeat it at the end to really re-emphasize it. The Bears are going from they're going from the 5th easiest schedule in the NFL in 2018 to what is projected to be the literal toughest schedule in the NFL in 2019. They are legitimately project. I think. I'm going to double check just to make sure that I don't have it backwards. It's either the easiest to the 5th toughest or the 5th easiest to the toughest. So let me check and make sure. Okay. 2018, they actually had the easiest schedule. 2019, they're projected to have the 5th toughest schedule. And I can even back these numbers up. And this is specifically talking about Vegas projected win totals. So basically, if you look at the projected win totals from Vegas for every team in the NFL, and then you add up all of the total wins that each team has on every team's schedule, the Bears are projected to have the 5th most difficult schedule in the league. And let me see. Oh shit! I'm looking in the wrong. I was looking for. I made a post about this in the NFL subreddit, believe it or not. So I'm just trying to find my own post so that I don't have to re-research this shit. So I can just quote shit that I've already said to other people to you guys, just to make it easier. Okay, schedule. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, they're going from the 5th easiest schedule to what projects to be the most difficult, and it's actually, I think that's the other way around. I think I was talking to about something else, wasn't I? Yeah, I was talking about the Texans there. Here we go, the Bears. The entire team played at an unsustainable level in 2018. Trubisky's stats were way better than he actually played. The defense got more sacks than they should have based on how frequently they pressured quarterbacks, and they caught way more of the interceptions thrown their way than they should have. They got very lucky. Compound that with the fact that they're going from the literal easiest schedule in the league in 2018 to what is projected to be the 5th most difficult in 2019, and it's extremely likely that they're actually going to miss the playoffs. I was saying the same thing about Jacksonville and Minnesota last year at the same time, and people doubted it, and they both missed the playoffs. Jacksonville actually ended up with a top 10 pick. They were garbage last year. So it's just kind of something that happens, especially with the fluctuations in strength of schedule. This year, Houston and Chicago are the 2 big teams that I think it's going to hit. Let me see if I have more here, because I know I did something about interceptions. I do know that Trubisky should have a lower interception or a lower touchdown rate and a higher interception rate. And in 2018... Let's see. Let me look up his stats. Mitchell Trubisky in 2018. I think he had like 20-something and then like teens. 24 and 12. So in 2018, Trubisky had 24 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. In 2019, his touchdown rate should be lower. So if he throws more passes, he could still end up with more touchdowns. It's just he's going to be throwing fewer touchdowns on a per attempt basis. And his interception rate will also very likely be higher. If not, it'll be very similar, and just the number will have to go up because he's going to probably throw more passes because of how much tougher the schedule is. Let's see, what else did I say here? I know that there's something with the sack total and the interception total too, so let me see if I can find those exact numbers. No, I can't find it. Basically, I did research on teams with a lot of sacks and teams with a lot of interceptions. And basically, based on the number of quarterback hits that the Bears got in 2018, which was, hits from year to year are much more stable than sacks. So the number of hits that they got last year was 100. And generally, you get a sack on about 43.5% of hits. And they got 50 sacks. So they had about 6.5 more sacks than they should have last year. So which means that number, that sack to hit ratio, is probably going to either regress to or past the mean in 2019, meaning they'll either have as many sacks as they should, or they might even have fewer sacks than they should in 2019. I also looked at interceptions, and there have been like 15 teams over the course of the last like 2 decades, since 2000, that have had over 23 interceptions in a season, I want to say. And of those teams, 14 of the 15 had fewer than 20 interceptions the following year, with the average regression being anywhere from 7 to 8 fewer. So in 2018, the Bears had 27 interceptions. So in 2019, we can safely project for them to have somewhere in the 18 or 19 range, maybe even as low as 17. So definitely going to be significantly worse on both sides of the ball, which means I personally project the Bears to have like a 6-10, 7-9 type record in 2019. So I actually was super prepared for that question in the sense that I had already answered it for a bunch of other people. So I'm glad that Mark asked it so that I could kind of show off my stat prowess. Next, 5th and final question from Mark, though. Who drew the dicks?
Oh, man, that show was so fucking good. Oh, my God. Yeah, Ashton, you know what? I actually want you to answer this because you even enlightened me like a day or two like after we watched it about some of the lies and some of the hints that you caught while watching the show. So I'm going to let you take this one away.
Yeah. So it was very obviously it was Krista Carlisle and her boyfriend, and I'm trying to remember what her boyfriend's name was. It was Van Delory. That's what it was. Van Delory. It was definitely the two of them that drew the dicks. Or actually, more likely, it was Van Delory that drew the dicks. Krista, who was the one who most likely deleted the footage. But the thing is, there was this really interesting little Easter egg where if you look at the 2 photos that we see over the course of season 1 that show Krista with her boot cast on, it's on different feet in each of those pictures. So it's pretty clear that she actually faked her injury as a way to kind of have a more stable alibi. And another little fun thing that they did with like wordplay and stuff is we have Krista Carlisle and Vandal Laurie. So Vandal, Krista Carlisle, Vandal Laurie. It's literally right there in their fucking names. So Krista Carlisle, Vandal Laurie. I fucking love American Vandal, guys. And people asking what the fuck we're talking about, if you have Netflix, which I'm assuming most of you do, watch American Vandal. It's an amazing show. It's so good. And we're specifically talking about season 1, which is Who Drew the Dicks.
Yeah, Mark, thank you so much, man, for the recommendation.
I caught something that not even Mark noticed, and his fucking cousin was a producer on the show, for Christ's sakes.
Damn. All right, next set of questions.
Next set of questions. DBK is he only had one question for us this month. In your opinion, who is the true, and then he gave us 4 names, Mr. WrestleMania, Mr. SummerSlam, Mr. Royal Rumble, and Mr. Survivor Series?
Mr. WrestleMania, I will say Shawn Michaels. I'll stick with that. SummerSlam, I've always said Orton. Survivor Series, was that one?
Yeah, it was Mania, SummerSlam, Rumble, and Survivor Series, the big 4.
Rumble, I'd say Austin, because Austin's won 3 Rumbles.
I would agree. I was gonna say Austin for Rumble as well, and I just to be different, I'll just kind of stick with. Actually, no. You know what? Daniel Bryan is the new Mr. WrestleMania.
Okay, I like that.
Because he is like. I mean, we've obviously got like Becky and Charlotte and Ronda now added to the ring. But before that, Bryan was like the only guy. Or no, you know what? Never mind. Forget what I was about to say. But I feel like he was like the only guy, he was in the main event that was like the only main event in the last like decade and a half that didn't involve Triple H or John Cena or The Undertaker.
That's a fair point. That's absolutely a fair point. I want to kind of say that Bret Hart is Mr. Survivor Series.
See, I would say that Randy Orton is Mr. Survivor Series.
Yeah, he's either to me Survivor Series or SummerSlam because he's done big stuff at both events, which is why I gave him SummerSlam. Survivor Series I'll actually give to Roman Reigns. The Shield debuted at a Survivor Series.
That's good. Mistaken. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
He eliminated 4 people, I think, by himself, 3 or 4 people by himself at that.
Honestly, you could argue that Roman is the new Mr. Royal Rumble, considering I know he's only won 1, but his first Royal Rumble ever, he was in the final 2. His second Royal Rumble ever, he won. He, in his first one, he set a new record. In his third one, it was about him as the fucking Roman Rumble. It was built around him. He went into it as champion and had to defend the title. Like, Mr. Royal Rumble might as well be Roman Reigns these days. But I like him as Mr. Survivor Series a lot more because of the reasons that you just gave.
Yeah, Shield debuted there. He won the WWE title at a Survivor Series.
2 or 3 years ago, yeah, like 2016 or 2017. It might have been 17.
Yeah, he was the sole survivor.
Because that was like the next night then he got beat down by Sheamus, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Actually, no, he got cashed in on immediately after that, and then the next night,
okay.
yeah, I think he got beat down. But yeah, he's just done significant things in Survivor Series. I'm going to stick with Orton again for SummerSlam, and yeah, Royal Rumble. I'm going to stick with Stone Cold.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to sign on to all of yours, but I'm going to say Daniel Bryan is my Mr. WrestleMania, which is fitting because of the lineage, because he was trained by your Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels. It's perfect.
Yeah, there you go. Next set of questions.
It's the Chiefin, who I believe only had one question for us this month. But his question was, if you were in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and had powers, what would your powers be? And what group would you be a part of? And he specifically gave examples: the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Nova Corps, the Black Order, Hydra, etc.
So does X-Men count then? Like, if those are the rules?
You know what? Fuck it, we'll allow it.
Then I would say that my power, I mean, it would just be a power for something I have a natural affinity for. Like, I would have, be like almost like the Beast, the supreme intellect. But maybe I'd also, modify my crutches or my mobility devices a little bit to be more technologically advanced. And you know what? I won't do the X-Men since they already have Beast. And again, he's already a genius. So, and I guess that the Avengers also have a genius. Who cares? I'll fucking join the Avengers. Tony's dead anyway. So, I'll fucking take that fucking spot. So, yeah.
I love it.
All right, what about your power and what faction are you running with? Be thankful, guys, I didn't say Hydra, because I bet you all thought I was going to say it. So, like...
Totally, yes, absolutely. I would want the powers that fucking Jean Grey has. I mean, maybe not as extreme, because I'm not trying to lose my shit every time it's emotional, but... Yeah, I want that the psionic powers. I want to be able to read minds. I don't want to be able to control minds. I want to say that. I do not want the ability to control minds. I just want the ability to read them and move stuff with my own mind. Those are the things that I want.
I just love the way you said I want to lose my shit, because I just picture you being at the X house with like the professor and everything, and you see Jean like becoming the Phoenix, and you just got like a bowl of cereal in your hands. You're like, Jean, calm the fuck down. Like,
yes.
Trying to have some
fucking mood.
Yeah, like, Jean, like, get it together. So
get it together, Jean.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you probably already lost it if you chose Scott over Logan, but that ain't my business. So, next set of questions.
30 questions from Ella.
Oh, Yeezys.
First up, how do you feel overall about TWitWoW currently, and where do you want it to go in the future?
I feel pretty fucking great about it, Ella, and where to go in the future, to the top, obviously. Every other podcast will die, and we'll be the only one left.
You are filling yourself, and I adore it.
Yeah. No, I really am. Like, G1 hasn't been nearly as taxing this year as prior years, and it's going by so fast, dude. Like, dude, this Saturday, the A block will have already been 5 matches in. That's nuts that we're already at that point already. Like, am I alone in that? Do you feel like this G1's going faster than prior years, or does it just feel like another year to you? Like,
no, I definitely feel like it's, you know what, I won't say it feels like it's going faster than usual, but it's definitely, I feel like, been the best G1 so far. Like, it's been the most enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure. I know, I feel good about it. Me and Ash have been talking about some stuff, which we'll be revealing very soon. I'm going to just leave it at that.
Yeah, but stay tuned on Monday, because Monday we are making an actual announcement about the future of the channel, so you're almost giving us an opportunity to fucking chill our shit.
Thanks, Ella. Man, you must have really loved those pics that I shared that one time to just send me all this goodwill to plug our shit.
Where do we want it to go in the future? You will find out the actual answer to that on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. It's fun. You know.
You know what? I just realized I kind of robbed the chief, and I never told him what group I would be a part of with my mind reading and ability to move things with my mind abilities.
Yeah. Okay. Which group?
I want to be a part of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., man. The fucking TV crew, like with Fitz and Simmons and Daisy and all them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So now let's get back to Ella's question. Yeah, we feel, I mean, overall content about where TWitWoW is right now, but much more excited about the future because of what we're going to be announcing on Monday. So this question is legitimately like 4 days early. If you would ask us in 4 days, and like it's coming Monday, after we get our announcement out, our answer would be, we feel fucking amazing about TWitWoW currently.
Yeah, we do. And yeah, it's fun. I'm feeling good. And yeah, it's just been nice to do the big recordings like G1 without any knocking on all the wood, without any issues. So yeah, it's been good. I'm feeling very optimistic about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Second question from Ella. Who are your top 3 favorite wrestlers signed to AEW? A tag team counts as 1 spot.
So she said 3, right?
Yep.
MJF.
Number
without
1.
question.
Yep.
Fucking gem. Tag teams count as 1. So, I'll say Lucha Brothers. I really like them in AEW.
Okay.
So that'll be 2. And then for 3, God, I wish MJF had a clone.
Of course.
He's so perfect and not poor, which also means perfect. But fucking who else? You know what? Since I'm just gonna count him by himself, Luchasaurus, because when the gloves come off, he's gonna be fucking dynamite. He's gonna be so fucking good. So I'll say Luchasaurus.
And Luchasaurus is actually the only one that you and I share. So I agree with Luchasaurus, but then my other 2 are Jon Moxley, right?
Yeah, right. Okay.
Let's see if you can guess my 3rd one, because I think it's kind of obvious, but maybe I haven't made it super obvious.
Okay, so your first 2, I heard Moxley. Who was your first one?
Luchasaurus.
Okay, Luchasaurus, so you agree with that. 3rd one. It's not Hangman Page, right?
No, Angelico.
Oh, that's right, because they are in there now. Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. All the sense in the world, absolutely.
All right, so then our 3rd and final question from Ella is just for me, and she wants me to say who I think the worst NFL team fandoms are.
Ooh, have fun with this one.
I mean, truthfully, they're all fucking toxic. Let's be real. Like, fandoms in general are fucking toxic because as soon as you declare, I am a fan of this thing, and they do something wrong, you are blind to it. You are unwilling to admit the wrong that they did. Or if they, if in the case of NFL teams, if they, like, my favorite thing that happens every single year is that fans of teams will spend January, February, March, and April talking about draft prospects. And there will always be guys that a fan base will be like, no, that guy sucks. I hope we don't get him. And then they draft that guy, and within weeks, the entire narrative shifts. And it's like, oh man, this guy's actually awesome. I'm so glad we picked him. Because they just have to fucking deal with it. And that's their way to cope, is to just change their fucking sight on everything that they thought they knew. They're just like, oh, this guy that I thought really sucked going into the draft, now that he's a part of my team, he must be awesome. I have to find positives now. And I actually have dubbed a word to describe that sensation. I call it drafter glow, because that's what happens when people are in the post-draft glow. Like, we got these new players, I have to get excited. Even if the players are guys that you thought were shit before they were on your team, suddenly now they're on your team, and you have to do one of 2 things. You can either A, do what I fucking did and distance yourself from being the fan of a specific team, because obviously if they don't make decisions that you agree with, then you're not necessarily going to be able to enjoy them fully. Or B, and this is the much more common decision, cognitive dissonance your ass off and be like, you know what? These guys weren't really all that bad in the first place. It was me who was wrong in my evaluation. And then 3 or 4 years down the line, when it turns out that your evaluation in the first place was right, then you can get bitter about how bad things really are. But you'll have a whole new draft class of rookies that you can be all cognitive dissonant about and try and pretend that they're good when they're actually not. The NFL's so fun, isn't it, you guys?
Oh my God. Next question.
5 questions from Alex Foster. First up, again, just for me, is there any saving RG3? Man, I hope so, but he's just so fucking fragile now, man. Like, I do think he can be a good quarterback, but he's like one hit away from a career-ending injury, I feel like. He's so frail. And like, it's so unfortunate because I really loved watching him back in 2012 when he was a rookie kind of do his thing and shred defenses. But like, that injury that he got in the playoffs against the Seahawks, I don't think it just ruined him physically. I think it also kind of ruined him mentally. Like, it made him gun shy. It really made him more conservative. I think it was just like, it just kind of broke him in a way. Because it was like, not only did he have a bum knee, but then it was like he kept playing on it, and it was made so much worse after it was already injured. Like, he really, like, Mike Shanahan, I believe, was the head coach at the time, really fucked up letting him continue to play there. But I get it. It was a playoff game. They were in the fucking lead. Like, why would you not want to let your star rookie quarterback try and win his first playoff game? I get that. It was just a really unfortunate situation that very well could have literally ruined the dude's career. So it sucks, but shit happens. Next question from Foster is just for you, John. Favorite Naruto characters?
I've actually been rewatching bits and pieces of the series, so it's funny this question comes now. I would say Rock Lee, because his fight with Gaara, I think, is the best fight in the series. Neji Hyuga, because I appreciate his character development and his fight against, let me get this right now, I think it's Kidomaru, the spider guy working for Orochimaru. That was an amazing fight, very tactical, very strategic, and I just love what an intelligent character he is. And Hinata Hyuga, Naruto's eventual love interest that they get together at the end, because she's absolutely fucking adorable. She's like the Kyrie of that universe to me. So obviously I'm going to have a soft spot. So yeah, Neji and Hinata Hyuga and Rock Lee, because honestly, they fucking did him so dirty after the Chunin exam arc. I don't think he ever really got back to the prominence that he should have. I feel like the writer really screwed him over. I've actually been watching some video essays on the series, and I do agree with a lot of criticisms that too much of it focused on the Naruto-Sasuke conflict of Naruto trying to retrieve Sasuke back to the Leaf Village. And honestly, an unpopular opinion here, fuck Sasuke. Okay, whiny little fucking bitch ass. Oh, my entire clan was slaughtered. Listen, I'm not saying you don't have a right to be angry, but you obviously have friends and people that care about you now, and you're making a new community. So get the fuck off your emo soapbox. Nobody cares. Okay? I guarantee you, if you asked everybody in that fucking show what horrible thing has happened to them, they'd have stories to share with you, which is pretty much something similar to what Kakashi said to you, who's also another badass, by the way. And you just didn't fucking listen because you're like, oh, I need power. You know what? I'm glad you lost your fucking arm. You don't deserve happiness, and it kind of pissed me off that you got it. Eat shit and die. So yeah, the show was focused way too much on this little shit who was completely ungrateful for his friends. He even tried killing the one woman, and this is why people complain about this fucking show. The fucking Sakura, who admittedly, again, because of video essays I've watched, I'm not even going to say fuck Sakura because writing screwed her over. The original plan apparently was Naruto was supposed to be great at ninjutsu. Naruto was supposed to be taijutsu, like Lee. Sasuke was ninjutsu, and Sakura was supposed to be genjutsu, which is insane because that's pretty much like mental deception, like getting these people in these grand hallucinations. And her chakra control is insane, and she could have been an immensely powerful ninja. But what's she reduced to? Oh, Sasuke, I love you so much. Please don't leave. Please stop beating me. It only hurts when I see, like, you sound like a victim for pretty much the entire fucking show. And then the person that does care about you, you wail on all the time. But again, so much potential lost. And the only reason I picked those three, I was happy that Hinata got to be with Naruto because she loved him from the beginning. Neji ends up dying, which fucking sucks because I wanted him to live, but he was definitely one of the strongest characters. And Lee, again, hard work and determination, literally sacrificed his body to achieve greatness, which fucking mood, okay? And he still gets fucking nerfed in the end. So fuck Sasuke and his bullshit. Fuck the change in the anime where it's like we go from technique and hand signs to I'm going to make this giant death ball thing that can kill the entire universe and still have enough chakra to rule the earth. Like, what? What? Like, calm your shit down. So no, it was great with those three characters. They should have been more developed. They should have gotten more than what they did, even though for the most part, I guess it was fine. And yeah, I've just been rewatching the stuff that I liked, because the more I think about the show, the more I think, God, there was so much filler, and they really did some characters dirty that could have done a lot more. So those are my thoughts, Foster. I even gave you a little bit extra than what you initially asked, so I hope you enjoyed that. Next question.
Third question from Foster. If you were at the SmackDown Live Town Hall meeting, what minor inconveniences, wrestling related or otherwise, would you voice?
Now, when he says inconveniences, okay, you go, like, I feel like if you went and you kind of articulate what you felt, I get kind of a baseline for maybe how I should answer this. So what do you think?
Let me actually pull up the full message to make sure that I have everything in here, because I always have to shorten these questions because I try and keep them within the confines of the document. If you guys were at the SmackDown Town Hall meeting, but you mainly had minor inconveniences to voice, wrestling related or otherwise, what would they be? I mean, the thing is, I don't sweat minor inconveniences. I get pissed about, like, stuff that's, like, symptomatic of something much greater. Like, if I were to complain about something SmackDown related, it would be fucking Vince. And that's not a minor inconvenience. It's a gigantic fucking pain in the ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not wrong. And honestly, I think if I was running with this guy, like if we were at the town hall together, like I'd probably have minor inconveniences by myself, but he'd probably remind me to keep it tranquilo. So, and even then, if I did a minor inconvenience, I don't even know what that would look like. I mean, I would try and frame it that Vince breathing is a minor inconvenience. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I really don't think I'd have any. I really don't think I'd have any. Unlike this next question, if you want to get to that.
No, Foster gave a good example in chat though. Shane, why the fuck is there no prime rib in catering? And why is Dolph here?
Yeah, why is Dolph here is always the question to ask, Foster. Abso-fucking-lutely. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. All right. That was third. Fourth question from Foster. What would Daniel Bryan criticize you for in his mission to save the planet? Is everything an appropriate answer here?
Yeah, for me, yeah, fuck it, also everything. Because I was originally going to say, like, I've been eating chicken again slowly, particularly from Mingdu, our Chinese place, because orange flavored chicken is the fucking shit. And he'd probably burst into my room. Are you enjoying that, huh? Yes, I was. Well, know that you're killing the planet with that enjoyment. You feel good about yourself? No, I'm a pig. Don't say that. Pigs are better than you. They actually contribute to the planet. I'm sorry, Daddy. Don't hurt me. So, yeah, definitely me eating meat again would be a point of great shaming for Daniel here. And I'd low-key kind of like it. I think a little bit. And then I'd just, go cry alone. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I kind of have this weird take too, where I'm kind of anti-recycling.
Yeah.
But like specifically in the traditional sense that we think of, where it's like, oh, you got to put, your plastic bottles in this container and your whatever in that container, like that kind of shit. Watch the episode of Penn and Teller bullshit on recycling. It will change your point of view for sure.
I think I've seen that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know I've seen it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Final question for Q&A?
No, we have another 5 after Foster's, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
I thought Foster was the last.
They came in at 7:03 on the Discord.
Wow. You're lucky we're so liberal. We go live and say, yeah, all right. But final Foster question then.
Final question from Foster. What wrestlers would make a good avatar?
Kyrie. Immediately, because she's so fucking pure. We need avatars that won't be corrupted, right? We've already seen AJ turn heel, so like he's out. Ricochet, I think. So Kyrie, Ricochet. Who else? Because again, every avatar that I've seen has been like good natured and not even really like morally ambiguous.
Ruby Riott.
You think so?
She's chaotic good.
Is she, though, when she's bullied Kyrie? Is she good?
She hasn't really bullied Kyrie, has she?
I mean, they were looking to assault her more at the Women's Royal Rumble if Io hadn't shown up.
Shit, you're right. I just have a hard time separating the character from the person on that one.
The person's a sweetheart. If we're talking about the person, absolutely.
But you're right. Character-wise, you're right. She would not be a good avatar.
Big E would be a very interesting avatar. I'm actually kind of here for it.
Yeah, Big E would be a great one. Let's see. It's. I feel like Kyrie is the best answer, and we're not going to get a better one than that.
You want to move on to our next set of questions?
Yeah, let's. 5 questions from Shay, aka Luna Corva. First up for you, John. I'm going to actually read this on the Discord because he types long. I believe you've said that you're an anarcho-communist before. What does that mean to you? And then he also specified, I realize I could look it up on Wikipedia, but I'm more curious about how you view it and why you favor it.
Yeah, and again, I really haven't read a lot of heavy theory, which I probably should. But just in the simplest terms, it's believing in both a stateless society, so there isn't like a centralized state power where the workers own the means of production. So like the factories, the land, this stuff is done on, and everything returns just to like the working class. So yeah, it's pretty much like communism as should be properly understood. And communism nor socialism is when the state does stuff. I just want to say that one more time because I still see that in the popular discourse. And it's just a stateless society again. And by state, I mean it's not centralized power. It's more federalism, where like power just goes off in these other directions rather than being concentrated in a singular point. So yeah, that's pretty much what it means to me. And if I want to
let the workers figure out what rules work best for them.
Yeah, I'd say in a way, yeah. Here's the thing, because I haven't really read much theory, and I'm just kind of going off of more. I always like to use the Castro's term of utopian communist, where it's like I haven't read the theory, but I can look at the world and see that it's broken and that just capitalism just intuitively does not work.
Yeah.
So I'm always hesitant to say yes to anything that people offer. So oh, do you mean this? Because I never want to lead people astray. Ideologically speaking, when they're asking a question in good faith. But yeah, I'd say that's a good way to go about it. Next question from Shay.
Second question from Shay is just for me, and that one is a bit of a challenge here. Going by Paul Heyman's philosophy of accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. If you were a booker and had to use Charlotte Flair in your show and couldn't just make her a jobber, how would you book her to get the most out of what little positives she has?
Oh no,
this is for me.
For you. Yeah, it's just for you. So yeah, have fun with that.
So, I would basically have her do what she is in WWE right now, where she fully embraces the Flair name, and she is proud of her Flair, lineage and stuff like that. But I would also go more out of my way to make her unattractive, because a lot of the time guys will root for a woman if they just think she's hot. And I don't find her attractive, but there are still a lot of dudes that think Charlotte is hot and look at fucking Andrade that's who she's got banging her or whatever. So I would say Sasha Banks type trunks, where it covers up the entire ass, since fucking Charlotte wears trunks that are 5 sizes too small to make it look like she actually has an ass, where we all know from the ESPN body issue that she fucking doesn't. And I would say high collared shirts to cover up any cleavage, because again, we're trying to minimize attractiveness here. We're trying to make sure that guys aren't cheering her because they think she's hot, right? And then I would also have her stop wooing completely, because that's pandering to the fucking audience. So she embraces everything about being Ric Flair's daughter except for the woo. She rejects the woo. She doesn't cut promos on rejecting the woo. She just kind of silently stops doing it. Her finisher can still be the figure 8, but she's going to start doing more and more of the dirty tactics. She'll do the ref distraction, low blow kind of stuff, except obviously she can't do fucking low blows to women because it won't work, but stuff like that, undoing turnbuckle pads and using those, using exposed turnbuckles, hiding brass knucks and using those, eye rakes and hair grabbing and that kind of stuff. Literally just actually being a fucking heel, which she doesn't seem capable of doing past just, speaking arrogantly is like the only heel thing she does. And then she woos and it fucking throws all of the arrogant and heel heat that she might have had built up away. And I would basically do what WWE has been doing, where I would build her up as like the top star, but I would have her have like a Ric Flair type title run where she literally loses every non-title match and only wins title matches because either A, she cheats and gets away with it, or B, champion's advantage, disqualifications, countouts, dusty finishes, that kind of shit. And the goal would be to build somebody up to be the Flair Slayer or something like that, where it's like somebody that can finally put an end to her reign of terror. And then when she finally does drop the title, I would actually fucking relegate her and put her against lower card women to make them look better. And maybe even have her lose a bunch of times. I would basically make her female Miz. Like the way that they have treated Miz over the course of the last 5 or 6 years before the face turn is what I would do with Charlotte Flair as a heel. Plus, obviously, she would still have all of these Flair mannerisms and be more of like an over-the-top cheater, but without the woo. Like, that's how I would handle it.
All right, sounds great. Next question.
Third question from Shay. It's for both of us. Let me actually just go back and read it. Another little booking challenge. If you were asked to take a smaller wrestler and book him as a believable monster heel, which we define as needing to be both dominant in win streak and someone other wrestlers are genuinely afraid of, how would you do it? And then he specified you can't make his opponent smaller than him. He has to be the smaller guy.
Okay, if those are the conditions, I would have a character that said...
Oh, and by the way, yes, hypothesis, thank you. Without the knife edge chop, she would do overhand chops instead.
But yeah, like I would have a character that comes in and says, I'm going to become WWE champion without throwing a single punch, right? And and this character, we say they're small, so like maybe even below 5 feet, maybe just at 5 feet. I don't know, just somewhere like around there. But they're very smart and they're very crafty. And they don't even do anything in the ring. It's not that they're evasive. It's not that they're a great strategist. They just always, before every match, the gimmick is that they dig up dirt on people. And they're like, if you do not lay down for me tonight, I will go on Twitter or I will go on the WWE app or whatever the popular platform is. I will air this to our entire fan base. YouTube will see this. Twitter will see this. Do you want this to get out? And each and every opponent lays down. And it's working. And nobody's stopping them because nobody's explicitly said that like what they're doing is like against the rules. And obviously this makes other people afraid to be a target of this guy because, if I'm in their line of vision, they're going to get dirt on me too. And then you build it up to the story. Let's say Kofi is still WWE champion. It's like, Kofi, you were celebrating with your son at WrestleMania. You were celebrating with your wife in the ring. Did they really want to know this about you? And Kofi would make the choice to have an honest title defense and say, look, I'm proud of the man I am. I've made mistakes along the way, but I'm even more proud to be WWE champion, and I'm not going to tarnish the legacy of the title this way. They have a match, and Kofi fucking squashes the dude because they were only a monster psychologically. And once that's broken, you use up the monster character to, again, further legitimize a strong babyface champion. So that's how I would do it. Or you would have him go over. You could do it either way. But yeah, I would do a character that was small but malicious psychologically, almost like sociopathic.
Dude, I fucking love that for today. Like, that is the absolutely perfect...
Oh, with cancel culture and everything?
Yes!
Oh my God, dude.
Perfect heel gimmick for this era of time. Absolutely ideal, yes.
I love that I finally rose to a Shea challenge with his booking and, like, smacked that shit down.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I love, too, because I had something in mind that's more of like an evergreen thing that can work in basically any era, or at least almost any era. Obviously, it wouldn't work back in the day when it was more shooty and stuff, but I love your idea because your idea relies a lot on culture and like current day stuff. And I fucking love that.
Yeah. And again, just this idea, they come in with the confidence of, I'm going to win the world title without throwing a single punch. And they do it. And I just think that's so different from anything that WWE has done.
They win the world title through literal kayfabe on screen politicking.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my monster. Because there's no greater monster to me than like somebody like that knows how to politic, that knows how to
That's
manipulate
fucking genius, dude.
Thank you. Oh man, that felt good. Yeah. All right. So you said
hypothesis. That's a great idea too. You could get someone like like an Ambrose or like a fucking I mean, we mentioned him already here, like a Pillman or like an Austin or like a really like kind of grimy, degenerate, like lovable babyface character who doesn't give a shit what dirt you dig up on them to be the one to beat them.
Yeah, exactly. I really like that idea too, Hypothesis. That would work perfectly. So, did you want to elaborate more on your answer? Because you said it was like an evergreen type character that would work in like any era. Did you want to elaborate on that any? Or
yeah. So mine was actually kind of a combination of Pentagon Jr. and Zack Sabre Jr. Like it would be basically the gimmick would be they are like stuck in the 30s and they think that wrestling is eat or be eaten, kill or be killed, and they break people's bones on purpose to win matches, and they will fuck people up on purpose. They are shooters, and you get in the ring and it's like you try and do a wrestling match and you try and really the big point of emphasis here would be that pro wrestling, we do this to hurt, not to injure. But this dude would be out there to fucking injure. This dude would go out there and it would be way better if it was someone with credibility, like someone with MMA background, like a fucking filthy Tom Lawler or like a Matt Riddle or someone like that. But, and obviously Riddle at least is too big for this gimmick to work on him. But someone like a Conor McGregor would be fucking perfect for this gimmick. Would absolutely be incredible for this gimmick. Because they go out there and you try and do an Irish whip and they just don't do it. You try and Irish whip them and they just stand there and they turn around and they punch you in the face or they get you in a headlock. And you try and do things that require cooperation and they just don't they just no sell the gimmick completely. And they lock in submissions and we would obviously kayfabe it up, but they fucking do stuff where it makes it seem like they break someone's bone. The referee calls the match the way that they would with Pentagon and Lucha and they win the match. And that's how they continuously win the whole time. And I mean, they would go however many and people would be fucking terrified of them. They would never want to wrestle them because they would know, like, if I wrestle this dude, he's going to put me on the shelf for a couple months and I won't be able to make a paycheck for my family. And that's the definition of a monster heel right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea, dude.
So it would like you would have the psychological monster and I would have, I mean, in a way, kind of also a psychological monster, but also a physical monster in that sense as well.
Absolutely. We really crushed this question. I'm so proud of us.
Yeah, dude. I loved this question. Thank you, Shay. This was great. Fourth question. With all this booking talk, I wonder, do either of you have any interest in booking games like EWR or TEW?
I wouldn't. That's not really my scene.
The thing is, I feel like I like the idea of games like that, but my problem is it's almost impossible to really execute it in a realistic way because like you can make all these booking decisions, but then whether they work or not is based almost exclusively on either A, random numbers, B, the opinion of what draws money and fans of the person who created the game and made the code in the first place, or C, a combination of the two. Because whoever makes these games is obviously the person who is telling the game, like, here, this is what makes for a successful match, this is what makes for a successful card, and that kind of stuff. And so that person's bias would be naturally built into the game. So if that person thinks like, if that person is like a fucking NWO Wolfpack for life kind of guy, and they think, oh, vanilla midgets don't draw, body guys are still the best way to sell tickets, then if you make a card that features like Daniel Bryan versus Kenta in the main event, a lot of people might think that sounds amazing, but if the person that coded the game decides that that's not a draw, that's not a draw, even if it's completely subjective. So that's my biggest problem with games like that, is that like there's no real way to gauge success that doesn't incorporate inherent bias of whoever's making the game in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
So that's how I feel, at least. I've thought about that kind of thing many times before. I've really been like, there have been points in my life where I've really been interested in getting TEW specifically, but it's like I've looked into it and like I've seen other people's TEW like e-feds basically on like YouTube and shit, and it's just like it just seems like everything is. It doesn't seem like anything really correlates, and it's like you basically, rather than trying to make something that would genuinely work in real life, you just have to learn the ins and outs of the game so that you can make something that kind of panders to what the game wants. You know what I mean? And at that point, I feel like I'm not having fun with the game anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
So, all right. So then our fifth and final question, and the final question of this Q&A. And by the way, it ended up having, I want to say like 46 questions then in the end, rather than 37 I thought it was, because originally I missed Abel's questions, 4 of his 5. I had only had 1 listed, and so I added 4 of his, plus I had not gotten Shay's yet. So in the end, we ended up with 46 total questions this month, not 37. So the 37 thing got ruined, but it's fine. We've always said that we want between 45 and 65, and we are right there now. So fifth, final, and the final question of the Q&A from Shay. How, let me go back here. How would you like to make a video where you two share your vision for Lucha Underground Season 5?
I mean, honestly, I don't want to speak for Ashton here. I feel like a video like that is unnecessary, because I feel like we pretty much talked about, or we have talked about, like, what we'd want our vision to be for Lucha Underground long form, and like plenty of discussions where it veers into fantasy booking territory. I think it'd be a nice little love letter to the promotion, you know, something that just never happened. But honestly, like, I couldn't even really get hyped to do a video like that, because I know it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if Season 5 was on the rise, and I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe, because obviously you always love to speculate with a brand as fun as Lucha Underground. But if it's never going to happen, like, that just seems like masochism for no reason.
Yeah.
So like, I would not be down for that at all.
No. I would like, I kind of have voiced that I would almost want them to do like a universal reset where like it's revealed that Aerostar went back in time and changed something super important way back in time that had a massive ripple effect and changed everything about Lucha Underground. And I think that would be the best way to do a Season 5 because of how much talent they have lost, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could do a thing where you get Aerostar sent back in time, makes a major change that changes everything about current day, including like the roster, the champions, whatever. And you basically just start telling, like, what you would really need to make it feel like is that you're continuing from a story that was left off from another universe. But at the end of the day, you would also have to frame it in a way where you're starting to tell a new story to the new audience. Because it's like, there is this new universe that we live in now, but the people that are a part of it don't realize that it's a different universe because it's just been the universe that they grew up in all along. So they would have to not acknowledge that this is new, but you would have to do little things to kind of introduce the audience to the new elements of the show that weren't in seasons past in order to get us integrated into it. Because like there would be new stuff. Like you could even, like Hypothesis said, like have a rebooted Prince Puma. You could fucking do that. You could go out and get, you could even go get AR Fox and you could have him show up as Prince Puma. And it could even be like a wink, like this dude was always destined to be a great in the temple, but the way that he got here in the original universe was just very different from how he got here now. Like maybe in the new universe, Killshot went back for him and he didn't end up getting abandoned and he didn't end up having to fight his way out. And because of that, he had a bit of a healthier life and he ended up being able to become a Lucha Libre wrestler more properly. So he actually ended up with a mask and stuff. Like that could be a fucking beautiful story. And there's so much that they could do with it. But again, like John said, we're probably not even going to get a Season 5. So all of this excitement that I'm building up for like a reset on the Lucha Underground universe is all for naught because it's never going to happen, most likely.
Yeah, and like, see everything he just did. I got excited for that, and then it immediately hurts because it's like it's not going to happen. So that's what I mean by masochism. Now imagine a full video when you guys know how we can talk about something we're passionate about. Yeah. Imagine a full video of great idea, hurt, great idea, hurt, great idea, hurt. I'm not, not my speed right now.
Yeah, I kind of player one gets it. Exactly. You do Flashpoint with Aerostar instead of the Flash. Exactly.
Yeah, like I would be all for that. Even if they said we're coming out with a Lucha Underground movie just to tie everything together, I would still be like, okay, Ashton, you know what? Maybe we could do a video like that now. But with the promise of nothing, there's a reason why I haven't even tweeted about Lucha Underground, because honestly, I don't want to think about it, because every time I think about it, I get depressed. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, no, it's not any of your guys' fault, and it's not Shay's fault who asked this. It's just there's a lot of active wrestling that's still going to be here tomorrow that's going on right now that's great. Like we were just talking earlier about New Japan and G1 Climax. Like I want to give my energy to that. I don't want to have to go back to the past, dig up these wounds when I've somewhat made my peace with Lucha Underground being gone, and then remind myself, wow, you know, even if other stuff is good, they didn't transcend the business the way the Lucha Underground did. Yeah. And yeah, I just don't want to put myself through that. So I think we both effectively answered that question. That's Q&A, you guys. We got through another one.
And we did it in under 3 hours. Oh yeah!
I'm gonna run through this very quickly to keep it under 3 hours. Next Q&A is August 29th. So YouTube, I know we get a lot of our Q&A questions on the last Q&A video, which honestly I think that's the smartest way to do it if you are going to do YouTube. But any process video like for the next month we'll do up until the 29th. But yeah, definitely try and keep it to this one if you can help it. Twitter, I'm going to switch out the pinned tweets because it'll be Q&A number 38 now that we're going to be doing next month. Patreon donors get up to 5 questions. Non-Patreon donors get only up to 3 questions. You could do like Alex Foster did. You could PM the Facebook page as well. That also works. Obviously, a lot of you guys that are Patreon donors, you submit your questions, however many you have for the month, in the Discord. So yeah, get your questions in. You've got over a month to get these questions in. I want everybody at their best. Think outside the box. Ask us pretty much anything you want. Although I think I have in the pinned tweet. Let me just confirm that very quickly. I think I explicitly spelled out no more like big RP questions or like anything like that, because that's just very exhaustive, and I think that gets away from the nature of Q&A. But other than that, and other than something, then we might be like, no, it's a bit uncomfortable, whatever, which we'll let you know. Because even Mark Shoneman had to change a question because I don't like hockey, and we always want to participate as best we can with your questions. But just ask us, and we'll let you know. We will let you know. Yeah, I have it as no RP or long fantasy booking questions. Just keep it to yes and no as best you can, and ask anything. You know, I'm willing to open that fucking closet for you all and show you the skeletons inside. So yeah, I thought this was a fun Q&A. You guys know where to submit your questions. You guys know the rules of who can submit what. And so yeah, if you're just here for Q&A, we will see you August 29th. If you're here for G1, we will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
No, Saturday, bud.
Oh, Saturday. Oh, yeah, dude, honest to God, it feels like Friday, so you're going to have to forgive me. Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern time for a Day 9 A-block matches, main evented by 4-0 Kenta versus 4-0 Okada. If you're here for just TWitWoW stuff, I think the next day we'll be seeing you will be the 29th.
Monday! Hello! Monday with our big announcement!
Exactly, for our big announcement on Monday the 29th. When are we going live with that, Ashton?
7.
7. We're going live with that at 7. So yeah, if you're here just for TWitWoW stuff because you're like, man, fuck G1. I mean, first of all, I'd like to be taken to the planet that you live. But more importantly, you can check in with us on Monday, and we hope you like the announcement that we have for you. I can't believe that I haven't let it slip all the times that I talk about it, because I know that I am that guy. So I just got to make it.
I admit I have told one person, but I will not say who that person was, because I don't want everyone harassing that one person and then them slipping up, because I want to keep it as much of a secret as possible. But I have told one person, and that's it.
Let me just ask your permission here. Are you okay with me telling Mark in like a private message, because he won't be here on Monday? He's going to be out, and he really wants to know.
Oh man.
Or should we just let him just go back and watch it on his
own? I would really rather, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Mark, I did vouch for you. Let the record show. But yeah, that'll be the next thing if you're just a fan of TWitWoW, Monday at 7. All right, time to go home. Ashton, take us home, please.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you enjoyed. Like the video, subscribe, click the bell, all that fun stuff. We kind of generally tend to assume that if you're here for Q&A, you're probably already a subscriber, so we don't really need to like run down the whole thing, but it's all into the description anyway if you're interested. We do have G1 on Saturday at 4, Sunday at 7, and then next Tuesday at 6. Monday, though, is the big announcement. Monday, we've got a pretty big announcement coming. We're going to be doing a little math on our channel, a little addition, a little subtraction. You'll see. But until then, we do hope that you enjoyed Q&A. We hope that you get in your questions for Q&A in August. Like John said multiple times, Q&A in August is on Thursday, August 29th. I will be 29 years old by then, so it's actually kind of fitting. And we hope that you will all remember, of course, to